Hi, this is Faith, and you are watching The Faith Factor. Holla.
All right, we are live. And thank you all for joining the Faith Factor. We have a very interesting topic today. Today, we are going to be hypothesizing. And what does it mean to hypothesize? Well, a hypothesis is typically when you are not exactly diagnosing a problem, but you're giving your analysis as to why you think the problem exists. So it's not the actual diagnosis, but it's your thought pattern as to why you think certain things are occurring. Am I off the mark, CK?
Yeah, basically, it's an educated guess.
Exactly. So today we're going to be taking an educated guess as to why certain events are occurring when it comes to Black women being beat upon. You're finding Black women dead in the trunk of people's cars. You're finding little Black girls dead at hotels. And it's becoming a phenomenon. It's an epidemic out here. And so I think it's time that we just stop looking at it from a point of view of, oh, these Negroes just don't like us. Okay, yeah. We get that there's an issue with Black men and Black women. Not all. I always have to throw out the not all because there's always somebody out here that gets offended if you don't say it, even though it should be implied. So, in looking at all the current events, and these events are months apart from one another, we're looking at Black women getting beat up for rejecting Black men in dances, little Black girls being teamed up on by a gang of Black men. I think it was a 16-year-old girl. What city was that in, CK?
Crown Heights in New York.
Yeah, so this is once again in New York. I don't know what's going on in New York, but ladies, keep your head up and watch out. You might want to go ahead and take those self-defense classes. See if you can get a conceal or open carry license because it is open season. It is. This is an epidemic. This is happening all over, all over. It's not just New York, but this is all over. And see, CK and I, we do a lot of talking behind the scenes about the state of the Black Union, the state of what our Black people are going through. And we do a lot of hypotheticals and hypothesizing about why we think what is happening is happening. Now, before I go off into why I think it's happening, I think you can read a little bit of it in the description. But CK, what do you think? What is your hypothesis as to why a lot of Black women are being attacked as of late?
I think it has a lot to do with hip hop music during the crack era, and the gangs were starting to become more prominent in the 90s. Most of the people who are doing the crimes, they're around between, we'll say, 16 to 40 years old. And a lot of us, while we were growing up, was around like the 90s and early 2000s. So that was your hip hop era, your gangster rap. The gangs were prominent, drugs, and then that was kind of around the same time where the big mamas were getting older, and the younger generation wasn't wanting to pick up the baton to become the next big mama. So the younger generation that wanted to pick up the baton and be big mama, a lot of family secrets that used to be held and hid were no longer held and hid. Because like right now I'm 38, and a lot of women I used to go to school with, they're starting to slowly but surely come online and tell a story about their family secrets about being abused by family members. And also, I think we're more connected with social media. So, with us being more connected by social media, the news is able to give us information at a faster rate. we can see things faster than we did in the past. So I think a lot of these things are going on. It's just that we didn't have access to the same social media, music, culture. We weren't all connected like we were, so now we're able to see things at a faster rate. And remember back in the 60s, Papa was a Rolling Stone. Dun, 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 dun. Well, men have been making a whole bunch of babies by different women. It's just now we're able to see it faster at a rapid pace and at the click of a finger, at the click of a keystroke.
Outstanding. And I agree, CK. I talked about Big Mama. Big Mama's gone. I talked about the death of Big Mama and the rise of the gold digging mama. And gold digging mama is the women of the Generation X. These are the women of Generation X who are rising up, and they have children, young women and young men who are maybe in their 20s or early teens or late teens, not early teens, late teens. So now we're raising the next generation, and we have gone through different things that Big Mama swept under the rug. You have women of Generation X that have went through being touched by a family member. You have women of Generation X that done went through being left by the baby daddy. So she has to, raise children on her own. Shout out to Fantasia. Women of Generation X are the ones that experience the change in the welfare system, with the welfare to work program. And the women of Generation X have experienced going to work while the husband or boyfriend stayed at home and kind of just didn't do anything because he had a record. He couldn't really get a job. All right, I see we got Mr. Research in the back. I'm gonna start bringing you up onto the panel, but give me a minute here, Mr. Research, because I got to go through my spiels. We really just got started. But welcome to the panel, Mr. Research. But what I want to say is this: gold digging mama came from Generation X. Okay, gold digging mama is that mama that done experienced all the things that I told you just now, and so she's warning the women of the new generation. This is why you see the Shira Sevens and the Crystal and Harrisons coming up here talking about, hey, don't take care of these Negroes no more. Get the bag. Those are the gold digging mamas. They have come up and they have replaced Big Mama. And gold digging mama is not going to sit at home and watch the kids anymore. You see Shira Seven, you see Crystal and Harrison. Do they look like they're going to be sitting around babysitting kids all day? Hell no. So gold digging mama is not only putting the younger generation of women up on game, but now the younger generation of women, they're being taught to look for more than what Big Mama had taught Generation X women to look for. See, Big Mama, she took care of everybody. She took care of everybody's kids. She stayed with her cheating husband. Big Mama did most of the work around the house. Big Mama was the reason why a whole lot of y'all even had a house to go to. Big Mama the reason why a whole lot of y'all had a basement to live in. Big Mama took all the inmates when they got out of prison. They went to go stay at her house. So now that Big Mama is gone, you left with gold digging mama, and the babies are gold digging mama. They not having it. So now with these Negroes not having a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, and I'm not talking about the black men that are, how can I say, living on their own and taking care of themselves. I'm talking about these bummy ass black men. There is a bum rebellion going on. I'm talking about these black men that can't get jobs because they got criminal records and backgrounds. I'm talking about these black men that need for the black women of today to be like Big Mama, and they not. So now you're starting to see them lash out. And every black woman that says, hey, get a job, she ends up like the woman in Manhattan whose son put a bullet through the back of her head simply because she asked him to get a job. They end up like them because these bums are rebellion. This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is my hypothesis. I'm not saying this is it, but this is what I believe. This is the great bum rebellion. Now, if you're not a bum, I'm not talking about you, but you know who I'm talking about. These are the guys that's teaming up, and I'm talking about these bums are getting together and forming like Voltron. They're getting together, even online. You see the bum Negroes getting together talking about financial abortions. You start to see the bum Negroes getting together talking about marrying women 20 and 40 years younger than them. This is the great bum rebellion. And I told you, it's coming. Not only is it coming, but guess what? There will be more. There will be more black women getting hurt because these bums are not allowed to lay on the sofas and the couches anymore. There will be more. So if the more black women that's not running up to be like Big Mama and be a mammy, those are the black women where you're going to see black men cornering them in corner liquor stores talking about, you think you better than me, and then jumping on them outside the liquor store. You're going to see more of this. But at any rate, let me go ahead and welcome Mr. Research to the conversation. Do you have anything that you wanted to say or add to this discussion, Mr. Research?
Well, yeah, it's what I always say. Women should spend more of their time going after the suit and tie guys. At least they got 60 to 70% of their life figured out. Don't mean they perfect. Don't mean they don't have what women call that don't mean he a good man concept. But at least he got 60, 70% of his problems worked out. He's less likely to be on the Xbox, less likely to be on the couch. Suit and tie guy got contracts to be focused on, budgets to be focused on, but we kind of look at it like women look at it like it's too hard to deal with us because we are not like the tank top Tonys. We tank top Tony needs for you to work with him. Tank top Tony, wave cat Willie, he need for you to work with a brother. We ain't gonna say that.
Wait a minute, you said tank top Tony and wave cap Willie.
That's what turns a lot of women on. Women know that wave cap Willie, he got time to work out. His pipe is always going to be hard for her when he get home because, like you said, he ain't got no job, and that turns her on until she in her third year, and she like, why you not a man yet? Cause wave cap Willie ain't trying to be no man. He trying to give you this pipe. But see, Brian, you call him a coon because he was articulate. He was a nerd. Shoot, he got glasses and he's going to study hall and study group and you saying that ain't enough. So I agree with you, Faith. There's no disagreement here. Hey, look, forget those bums. This ain't 1980. You don't need to be on the block no more. They selling legal weed now. Go open a darn store. So I'm just wondering, why are women still going after, the hustle brothers? Why, suit and tie guys already over there, or at least go get a guy that battles the white man every week mentally. Stop getting guys that's happy to just work for the white man. How about that?
Well, that's just the point that I'm making, Mr. Research. Now, the new generation of women, they have started to sing a whole totally different tune. So now with the death of Big Mama and Big Mama teaching the ways of being a mammy, you can come lay on my couch. I'll go out here and I'll work and, pay all the bills for the both of us. You ain't got to do nothing. And Mammy is the first one to blame white supremacy for the reason why her jailbird son can't get a job, or her jailbird husband couldn't get a job. So she had to hold it down for everybody. She was the first rider. She was the first down ass bitch.
But nobody ever asked her to hold it down. Nobody ever asked her. She decided that on her own. Because a lot of times these women, they sons or they or they boyfriends, they don't want to go the route that the women is having them go. For example, boys. Let's just keep this 100. Let's say his father's an a-hole. You the one fought in court to get custody of that kid when you know darn well that he was fighting for custody. But you didn't go tell Faith that he was fighting for custody. You said these men. But now, years later, you can't control this dude, the little puppy that you used to, oh, he's so cute or she's so cute. Now they done turned into a full-grown dog. Now you like, I'm done with him. Let the streets have him. Why do you think the streets is full of women and men who have never really been taught nothing? But it doesn't mean that the fathers are perfect. But anytime you get a father fighting for custody and you hide behind the government, because remember, a lot of women who use the government don't pay for their lawyer. Let's keep that 100. They don't pay for their lawyer. So this isn't about really just blaming women. It's about, hey, look, do what y'all want to, but have some accountability for your choices. You fell in love with Wave Top Willie. You fell in love with baseball cap Brian. That's you who fell in love with that. So don't get mad at all black men just because you done picked the same R. Kelly dude 13 times. Hey, it ain't our fault. It ain't our fault. Okay, I'm sorry, Faith. Go ahead.
All right. Well, see, Mr. Research, I could agree with everything that you said, except for when you said that these men did not ask Big Mama or their girlfriend or their wives or whatever to hold it down for them. Actually, these guys they feel entitled. That's the reason why they're out here right now beating these women up, killing them, locking them up in the backseat of cars and all this type of stuff, because their entitlement has been taken away from them. The rug is being pulled out from under their feet, so to speak. So now this is the reason why the title of this video is The Bum Rebellion, because now black women have changed that tune. Now they're not doing it anymore. Big Mama, she did all that, and that's what Big Mama handed down to Generation X. And Generation X suffered through it. Shout out again to Fantasia. Now, the Generation X are coming up and they're saying, you know what, I don't want my daughter to experience the same thing that I experienced. So now you have Generation X shutting the door, telling these boys, hey, get a job, telling these girls, hey, don't you open your legs to these broke ass Negroes, don't let them sleep on your sofa, don't you go to work taking care of no grown ass man. And so now you got all these bums out here mad as hell, hitting chicks upside the head with skateboards because they're getting rejected. And corner liquor stores mad because they ain't able to run the game like they used to. This is what's happening. So I'm not saying that Big Mama didn't volunteer, but what I am saying is this. I'm saying that Big Mama is the reason why these people feel entitled, and they did feel entitled. This research, I just want you to understand that this is an entitlement complex. But let me go ahead and add to the stream Kim. But CommendableK, did you have anything that you want to add to the conversation before Kim comes on?
Yeah, thanks for giving me the mic. So what it boils down to is most of the communities that people like us grow up in, they're poor. The guy with a suit and tie, he's not going to be out there fighting. So in the formidable years, women pretty much gravitate towards men who can fight, who can provide resources now, and who also have status. So that pretty much a lot of those people, they don't want to be us or be like us. We got to understand that most of us are like either 40 or 40 plus. So we're not in the mind state of someone who's a teenager right now or even the early 20s. So we have to understand that it's just best for us to kind of let them go because they're going to do what they want to do. I once knew a woman who had 3 kids by 3 different guys, and the first one was a product of a sexual assault. She kept the baby, and she was on Section 8, she was on food stamps, and she was letting guys come over to her place and hang out so they fell asleep on her couch or fell asleep on her bed. They ate up her food. They lived at her place. They sucked up her resources, and the house was a mess. And she didn't aspire. She didn't aspire to do anything. If you were to ask her where do you see yourself in 5 years or 10 years, she had no plan. Most people who are in the situation that we're speaking against, they don't have a plan. And you can tell them to do this and do that all they want or all you want. They have to themselves choose to do better and choose to use the internet as a disposal to want to look to see what better looks like. Because I can take that same girl to, let's say, a restaurant like Ocean 44. She'll look around and say the place is nice, but if she doesn't want to be there, she'll eat the food, drink the wine, but she's not going to want to come back because she'd rather be in the current environment that she's in because she has to choose better. So we have to stop carrying people to their destiny and dragging them to a finish line that they don't really want to be. Because if we do that, they're going to be there, but they're going to end up going right back to where they came from because that's where they feel comfortable.
And here's here's the difference with men. CK brought up a great point. We go through a lot of the same stuff that women went through. You got these dudes who got secret sexual issues that didn't happen to them. I used to be a counselor. I know. You got you got a lot of people who got stuff going on, but you know what dudes do more successfully than women? They compartmentalize their anger. Maybe it's not good for them health-wise. I will admit that. But they compartmentalize their anger to the point where CK just made. They're able to move on to some degree. Let's say CK wanted to save that young lady and come into her life and give her romance and love. To CK's point, she ain't even did no work on herself. And because she ain't did no work on herself, some way, somehow, her and her girlfriend blames the black man instead of saying, girl, haven't you compartmentalized that yet? Because the Iranian girl who just got to this country, she's been raped several times. She's compartmentalized. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm saying what it is. Pakistanis get beat with sticks, so on and so forth. At some point in time, you just can't keep blaming outside people. You got to take these atrocities that have happened to you and be able to open yourself up to a CK if the opportunity becomes available, not lower your standards and get another tank top Tony who you know darn well he ain't gonna be no good father to this individual, but he willing to let you control his penis for about 6 months. So you rather give him a chance and then let CK walk past you 4 times. But then when the relationship break up, you act like ain't no good man. Well, CK walked past you 4 times. You was busy with Tank Top Tony. I just wanted to make that point.
All right. Point well taken. Well, let me go ahead and welcome Ken to the panel. Ken, what did you want to weigh in on, sir?
Yeah. Hey, Faith, how you doing? What's up, CommendableK? What's up, Research? How you doing, brother? You know what? I agree with Mr. Research and what he's saying. I just want to add, my 2 cents in that. You can't expect these males to grow up as men if they weren't trained to be that when they were children, right? And and I've always said that is not the role of a mother to try to train her son on how to interact with women. You can tell them, but children are more likely to do what they see and what they experience on a daily basis than just based on what you tell them. And that includes boys. I don't know why we feel like we can just have our young black boys go through life in a certain way, and then all of a sudden, when they get into their 20s, they're just supposed to figure it out. No, they're everything that we're seeing these young boys do and these young men and these young males do. That's what they were trained to do. That's what they were trained to do. They're doing a good job at it. The thing is this is like what Mr. Research is saying. The question is, why are okay? Let me put it to you like this, because I've said this before. Show me a situation where you met a man that was doing well in his life, holding it down, stuff like that, and he got with you. He decided to quit his job, lay up on the couch, play video games all day, and basically let you be his mama. More than likely, that dude was that type of dude when you met him. More than likely, and what needs to happen is discuss, well, why is this more attractive to women than the dude that at least trying to get his head on straight. I mean, I tell my kids, all of them, anybody I come in contact with, rule number one in life: don't mess with nobody that ain't got nothing to lose. If you live by that credo, you have a better chance of having a pretty decent life. If you are dealing with people, everybody you deal with got something to lose, because they're gonna think twice about every decision that they make. Because when you start hearing people talking about jail ain't nothing to me, why are you still hanging around people like that? So I mean, it still comes back to, in my opinion, I get these groups and these community organizers and all that. That should be plan F through Z. Plan A, B, C, D should be daddy, father in the home, taking care and teaching his son and showing his son, this is how you treat your woman. This is how you do it. And for the life of me, I don't understand. We all black men. Um, when you forget the outer exterior, the way he dressed, like you said, the tank top and the cap. We all black men. We all are black men. I just don't for the life of me understand why women keep messing with them types of dudes. I just don't get that. So that's all I gotta say.
Okay, thank you. And for people that's just tuning in, this conversation is about the Great Bomb Rebellion. And I'm going to explain to you again what I mean by that. This is my hypothesis. But I do believe that a lot of what we're seeing today is an epidemic of bum ass Negroes that used to lay up on grandmama's couch, on mama's couch, playing the Nintendo game, becoming entitled to black women taking care of them all the time. And now that black women are on a totally different movement, you have more black women going to work, doing better for themselves, and so they're on a movement of wanting to get with brothers who have something going on for themselves as well. So this is where you get all these young women talking about leveling up. Shout out to Sierra and Crystalline Carrison and Sheera Seven, because they're hitting off this level up movement, and Nicole Michelle. And so now, because of a lot of these level up coaches, you got more young black women, thanks to the younger Generation X women, the gold digging mamas, schooling the younger generation that they need better. So now you got the bum rebellion of the black men who are used to and entitled to not doing a damn thing but looking to black women to take care of them. They're rebelling because now they're angry that you have this new generation and some of the Generation X mothers requiring them to get up off their behind and work. So, welcome to the stage, BMT. What's up, brother?
Oh yeah, what's up? Thank you for filling me in on what the bum rebellion is. Um, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I don't have a problem with it at all. I mean, we're seeing the incline of black men decreasing with political power, and black women are going up. Hearing all these, I'm sorry, like a lot of these social media things are all about control issues. Uh, I'm sorry, when you hear people talking about control and this person need to be running this and this person need to be running that shit, I watch out for those type of people. I really do. But I'm like, the fuck? Okay. I'm more so like, listen, I'm looking for somebody who want to cooperate and work with me. But you got to where these people are either used to being led or that they want somebody stupid enough to follow them. That's why they talk about all this talking points of game and all this other corny stuff that I be hearing on social media. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I think it's The truth is, the older women are passing on their failures or where they failed at to the younger girl. Now, when I say failure, I don't mean by when I say failure, I'm talking about I chose this type of guy. That don't mean you need to mess up and choose the same type of person like I did. You get what I'm saying, Faith? So these women are schooling because women pass on a lot of information more valuable than what I'm seeing the men are passing on. They're telling, listen, I made it so many levels this far, but you can go the distance. That's something that the women are doing. The men aren't doing it. They're not saying, I chose this type of woman, but here's how I got over that hump. No, they're preaching the message of, I got this much punani and I was a legend. And also they worship me and allow me to use their car while they go to work. Oh man, God dang, you're a boss. Like, you have women like that. And then see, they like those mystical stories and shit versus you might have the person who actually more realistic and balanced to say, hey, I chose a good person. We worked it out. You know, we both worked 2 jobs. That sounds boring. That don't sound like either you're getting the bag or you're doing that. That's why I'm saying it's not really working out because it's the unreality of people want to live in this type of system of, well, this group of people, they live like this and they live that. Well, you're not that group of people. Y'all sound foolish and crazy when y'all talk like that. Or when y'all talk about, and I got to be honest, man, you don't need a daddy to be a productive human being in society. Whoever keeps saying that stupid shit, y'all need to stop it. Listen, I know a lot of kids that don't have a father and they came out to be damn good kids, really good kids. We got to stop the narrative. Just like people saying, well, that if you don't have a good mom, she's not going to be effeminate. That's BS. I know plenty of women who had a piece of crap mom, plenty of feminine. And we're seeing it down the line now that a lot, the new generation, they're starting to watch and pick up game on how other failures of certain talking point people are trying to lead them. And we're looking at, well, your talking points ain't matching your lifestyle. Because if it was, why ain't you flourishing? Why your ass always here? And so, this is why I'm trying to say, like, I get the bum rebellion, but we also understand that these people are not going to get that very far, especially with the new competition coming into this country. We got new people that are, people that are now getting minority stuff passed on. So them using that talking point to say, hey, I'm hoping that I'm going to get a come up with somebody, because if that woman walks out the door, then that's on her, and that's something that she's on her own and saying that she needs a man. I don't want to say that's true, because we've seen that now that you can make it to the top without a man, or you don't really need a woman either. So people don't like hearing that clause that, yo, there's something wrong with it. So I don't have a problem with the bum rebellion of people trying to use the pro-black talking point of we as a black people. You know what I'm saying? I don't like people when they use that, but they making black people look bad. I don't like people who are trying to use these shaming talking points to a sellout and coon because you want better, or because you're not feeling like you're being respected, or you've been abused. Like, you got to be very mindful of these talk points and where's the origin of who they're coming from. And that's why I always watch these it's mainly older dudes that be talking about game and they doggone penis resume or all the day. I don't really see the women doing it. I see that most of the older dudes talking about how they used to run in the streets and do X, Y, and Z. But you don't really see no type of merit of tangibles that they have left for their children or their people. So they failed. And the women that are watching these guys, they're like, yeah, I did fuck with him, but I moved past that. And they hate hearing that, because now that woman, she's now teaching her daughters, don't fuck up like your mom. He wasted 10 years of my life. You don't have to be like me. That's why a lot of these women, when the minute that they start finding out, I'm telling you what my sister told me. My sister told my niece, the minute I knew your father was fucking up like my father was fucking up, I divorced his ass. I said, no, I'm not going to be like my mom. And that's what a lot of these women are saying. They watched the play from another man, what he was doing to that woman, and they get the hell out of Dodge. They say, hell with that. I'll go at it alone. I'll figure something out. Pick up some extra hours, get on the system, whatever I got to do. Hell, if I make enough money, I don't need you. And
Can
that's
you
what a
pass
lot
the
of
mic?
that's
Can
what a
you
lot
pass
of
the
women
mic
are
back
doing.
to me when you're done
Oh,
talking?
I didn't mean to run on too long, Faith. But that's what a lot of these women. That's why y'all hearing women are divorcing faster than the men. Men will stay in the fuckery for like years. Women now say, I don't got years to stay in the fuckery. I'm out. The same color purple to me. I'm getting out.
All right. Well, let me go ahead and I'm going to address some of the comments that I see down here in the comment section. BMT, you made some really good, valid points that I also want to dissect. But I do see that CommendableK is also wanting to get in on this. So I'm going to go ahead and pass him back and let him do. I guess he wants to rebuttal some of the stuff that you said. So go ahead, CommendableK.
We're multi-streaming to my channel, so I wanted to be able to talk as much as everybody else. So here's my definition of a bum. It's the undesirables. People who come back from the military and they're crippled, they can't do anything, and they're not on any type of VA disability. People who can't get a job. Men who don't have skills. Men who choose the criminal lifestyle to make money. Also the women who choose the criminal lifestyle to make money, including prostitution, which is a victimless crime. Then you have the women that entertain and mate with those men who choose the criminal lifestyle. Then you have people who are passive against other people who commit crimes and use passive language when having a discussion about them, as opposed to active language and being actively against them. So there are both men and women that are bums. They're all undesirable. And the rebellion is the fact that people who are working class and higher no longer want to give the handouts, no longer want to extend the couch or the olive leaf. They're pretty much left to their own devices. And they're increasing their criminal behavior because people who are working class and higher are also passive. You hear different stories of men saying, if a woman's being attacked, if she's not my woman or she's not giving anything to me, I'm going to just keep going. See, that passive attitude is what's allowing the bums to come together like Power Rangers and attack people with skateboards inside the head, or the 21 guys that count heights jumping on a 15-year-old girl, or 16, and also people who are having these teddy bear attack rings. So when it boils down to it, the bottom feeders, the lower upper echelons of society, the apes, the parasites, we need to start focusing on cutting them off and throwing them away, as opposed to showing mercy and hoping that they'll one day turn things around with our hands. Because as we extend our hand to help them, they see what we have and they don't want to be us or be like us, but they want to take from us. And most of the time when it comes to women, you all don't know what you all want until you become like 40 plus and you have a whole bunch of kids. And what I mean is that if you ask a woman what is a good man, she's going to describe a bunch of things, but still end up with a guy who sells drugs or who had a long criminal rap sheet. Most women don't, as far as the older ones, don't teach the younger ones what a good man is, or it could be an older woman who's really a mammy or is a big mama who's trying to preach that parasitical mindset to the lower generation. And like Faith was saying, instead of there being new mammies and new big mamas, now you're having the sugar babies. I'm passing the mic.
All right. Both of you have some really good takeaways here. What I would like to do, and hold on a second. I see Bro Speak is come in. Bro Speak, give me a minute because I want to address some of these comments. And as I read off the comments, whoever wants to address the comment, you have free reign. But first comment I see here is from Arab Black. Arab Black got quite a few comments on here. Arab Black, you should have came up to the panel, my man, with all these comments. But you guys see the comment up there on the stream. He says, is it the Great Bomb Rebellion or the Great Lame Nerd Rebellion or both? Or is it women don't want to see a black man come up no matter what his situation is? And I'll go first and respond to this comment. Okay, it is the Great Bomb Rebellion, Era Black, as I stated, because these people are bombs, okay? And as CK pointed out, it's not just men, it's also women that are bombs too. But Big Mama has basically taught the younger generation, Generation X, that we have to take care of these bombs because the white man, white zaddy, or the bad police, they locked up Junebug, even though Junebug was out there fighting, killing folks, selling drugs, terrorizing the community. The big bad white man locked up Junebug, and now Junebug is back out, and he can't get a job. Even though before Junebug got locked up, he could have just went and got a job before he got locked up. But we ain't even gonna focus on that. Big Mama said we gotta take care of Junebug because Junebug can't get a job. So now Junebug got to lay on the sofa. You gotta cook for Junebug. You gotta buy Junebug clothes. You gotta do everything for Junebug. And also give Junebug free access to sex, even though he can't really afford no woman and shouldn't be even thinking about sex or no woman or none of that. Give him free access because Junebug can't help it that he can't get a job. That's what Big Mama had passed down to us from her generation. And I'm telling you right now, it's not that the women don't want to see black men come up. We would love to see you all come up. But it's too many Junebugs out here talking about white supremacy and pumping the fist and then hiding behind a woman's skirt telling her that she got to hold a nigga down and be a rider until he can do better. Anybody else want to tackle this comment?
Yeah, I'll try to tackle it. I think it is both. I think, like I said, one of the tragedies that happened is that the guys that could potentially could get women, so they say, to do anything, and they don't have to lift a finger, met with the guys that could do everything under the sun for a woman and still can't get one. They came together sharing stories. Now everybody's mad. The ones that were used to bumming off women, now some of the women, the ones that they want, are saying, no, you gotta have, now I can't be having you lay up under me all the time. You gotta be a man now. The ones that never got one, never could get one, they're trying to get one, and these women are turning them down. So either way it goes, both of them are angry for different reasons. Both of them are not getting the women that they wanted because each side, either they were getting the women, now they're starting to slow up, or they still not getting no women. And the only difference between the two is that the bums had, like you said, Big Mama or some chick down the street who will take care of them because he's got a good penis, he looked good, he looked like he could protect her in these neighborhoods, as opposed to the nerd that he don't look like he could protect anything. So what you have here now is that because a lot of people were letting these bums hang out, and then you have the other people who were rejected by our black society. Now they're just going after everybody, man, woman, child. So it's not a war against black women. It's a war against black people, period. And it's pretty much a civil war. It's everybody for themselves, God for us all.
Well, bro, speak. I appreciate your analogy, and actually, I agree with one half of what you said because you did say that it's both. that it's both the bums, the guys that have gotten used to Big Mama taking care of them, and the guys that were rejected by the black women in the community. I didn't even think about it on that level. And on some level too, they're bummy in their way of thinking. But as far as there not being an attack on black women, I have to disagree with you, brother, because it seems to be an epidemic of black men showing up in trolls to jump on, beat, brutalize, murder black women in high numbers.
Maybe
And
I think I might have
mhm.
missed. No, I said it's a war on black people, the men, women, and the children. It's on
But no,
everybody.
I'm not that. But that's not what this topic is about. This topic is
Okay.
strictly about black women and the reason why we believe, or I believe, that there is indeed open season on black women right now. And I
Okay.
believe it's because of a bomb rebellion.
Okay. I got you. I got you.
But did anybody else want to tackle Arab Black's comment, or should we move on to the next one?
Well, if that's okay. Yeah, just go ahead. Just go ahead. Let's just go to the next one.
All right. And so Arab Black again, he
Hold on, hold
says,
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Go back to the last comment, please. I'll try to be patient. Go back to the last comment so I can address it.
What?
All right, so that's the last comment. Okay, yeah, it is. All right, so it's not that women don't want to see a black man come up. It's that they don't want him to come up by their hands and their resources. They no longer want to carry a black man to their destiny, to his destiny, or to his finish line. And they no longer want the excuses. We should no longer entertain excuses. You know, the 1850s, 1950s talking points, we should be done with that. The days of making excuses and talking about, you know, young men aren't getting the skills and they can't survive. When it boils down to it, we're in a sink or swim society. So in a sink or swim society, if you are not prepared to adult and to be prosperous, you're going to sink. You're not going to be able to swim. So the excuses, or as I call it, the clown talk, all lining off, it should stop. Because the clown talk is all it is providing escapism and promoting a environment of learned helplessness, accepted powerlessness when it comes to people who are not productive. And to answer another question in the comment, I'm not going to highlight it. Disabled veterans are bums. So a disabled veteran, if he cannot get VA benefit and he cannot work, he's going to have to live off of something or someone. And it's more than likely he's going to be living off of someone else as a parasite, or he's going to be under a bridge with a sign. It doesn't matter which one of those it is, but that would be a bum if he cannot work and provide for himself and his family, or is getting VA benefits. So yes, when I mentioned disabled veterans being bums, it is possible to be a bum. All right, I'll pass the mic.
Yeah. I guess like I said. I guess this space is just pretty crazy as I just look at it. Um. Yeah. Women are moving up, and I guess if who wants to carry somebody that's not going to help them? That's just honest. That's just honest God thing about it. It's not too hard to think about it. You know, if I mean, do I see black men and black women working together? I do quite often, but you know, I'm also adherent to when I look at property and home ownership, or you know, as far as it goes to getting access to money, it's predominantly the women, and they're just maturing faster than a lot of the men, or their drive is a lot more different. Um, you know what I'm saying? That's just something we can keep on bringing up the baby mama thing, and that's kind of getting old, you know. But honestly, that's not even stopping those women. Because I know a woman who's a manager at Walmart. She got 2 kids, no father. She worked harder than any man I know. So these talk points here are either from mainly around sexual access to certain groups or certain people, and they're just feeling like, hey, because I can't have access, either they're selling out, or they're the losers. That's all it is. So what's the next one?
So BFT, you know, you do research for your businesses and
Yes, sir. I do. Yeah, I do research for my businesses. It's no mistake. Like the highest. I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you, CK.
No, I was saying that nobody held your hand and you got it on your own as far
Yeah.
as learning how to do stuff. And that's what I'm saying. See, we're in a sink or swim society. In the same way someone like DMT has done the research and has been successful with a family, other men, no matter what the age, have to do the same. Because the one thing that the mistake that we're making with the bums, the bottom feeders, the parasites, is we're not drawing a line in the sand and saying you either can join us and be productive members of society, or you can stay where you are and we'll have our firearms loaded if you want to come and take what we have. See, there's a finite amount of money in the world. And the bums, they want that money, they want their resources. And they're going after easy targets, which are women, which is why men are going up to women, trying to talk to them. And if the man rejects them, they're hitting upside the head with skateboards. Because they want to go after those soft targets because they want what we have, BNC. They want access to the women that we have access to. They want access to the building, the assets, the opportunities. And if they can't get it through a woman, they'll take their frustration out on women. That's why the reason why I said on the last panel that it's open season on black women and it's war. And anyone who chooses not to acknowledge that there is a war going on is pretty much a part of the problem, because it's too much passive talk and passive thought when we're constantly seeing black men killing black women.
Okay. Okay. Well, I won't ignore that. Like I said, I just finished talking about the scaling system and also what's going on with why they're talking about all these value systems and sexual deviancy and all this stuff, and they see it's getting worse and more worse in the community. Like the scale system, I'm telling you, that's not a system that y'all really want to go with. That nobody in their logical mind is living off of a scale system, especially when you don't have nothing worth, scaling to show that you're worth a dang. And that's very sad or very telling about the mindset of a lot of these people. And that's something.
Well,
That's why I
I'm
like I
back
said.
BNT, but I wanted to move
Okay,
on
okay.
to the next
Yeah,
comment.
yeah. We're
If
waiting for you.
can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to address this comment that Arrow Black put down here. He
Yes,
says Big Mama held and kept the family together no matter the situation, circumstances, or consequences. That's just family dedication, and she is loved for this.
that's a very mixed bag about that one. That's Big Mama also
Moms
kept a
don't
little secret.
require them to work or pay any bills, and a black woman who pretty much helps you get up on your feet so that you can be self-sufficient and a help to the family as well. See, we like to sit up here and we like to use the Hispanic people and how their family structure is, where all of them live in the same household, but they're not sitting up here living in the same household and everybody being a bum. Everybody in the household have a job. There are no mammies in the household letting people that don't work and contribute to the household live for free. That's the difference between us and them. So when y'all sit up here and try to compare our situation to something like that, you're not being entirely honest with yourself about what you're really saying. Because in those Hispanic households, the men work. They're contributing. But in our household, where we have a whole bunch of bummy ass people living in our house, we got one person pulling and rowing the toe for everybody. And that's usually the mammy. The mammy in the house is doing that. And you got more people in the house just being leeches than you got people in the house contributing. And so then therefore when the mammy dies, when Big Mama dies, guess what? Everybody fall out, because everybody want to know who gonna get this, who gonna get that, who gonna get the house. And then they normally end up losing the house because she ain't even really paid for that. And so you got a whole household full of people that ain't been contributing, and now all of a sudden the world get turned upside down because one person that they've been leeching off of dies. So Arab Black TV, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about people that help other people get up on their feet and become productive members of society. I'm talking about these bums that's just laying up on the couch playing the Nintendo and not contributing, and they don't plan on contributing. That's what I'm talking about. Does anybody else want to tackle this?
Yeah, I think. Well, I think what it is that it wouldn't be so bad if other family members who see this going on didn't confront these bums. But the sad thing is that these are the bums that they like. These are the bums that they desire, and these are the bums that makes them laugh. These are the bums that, you know, got the good stories, know where to get the good weed and all kinds of stuff. So they'll let them sit under there. But the ones that they don't like, they're kicking them out the house. They're dishing them and turn against them. And so when these people, that's also another thing that's going on about this bum rebellion. It's a bunch of people that didn't get Big Mama's help. They were kicked out probably at 15 or 16 or 12 or 13 because Mama had a new dude in the house, or she just couldn't take care of them. They were living with grandmama, grandfather, living with friends. So that's another thing that's going on. They're rebelling. They're angry because Big Mama didn't take care of them. And so now they're going after every woman. They see that particular woman that didn't take care of them, didn't want them around. They see it in that woman. And every rejection reminds her of that rejection from that mother or Big Mama. So, and you know, and just the fact that they were allowed to lay up, not contribute. They sitting in the house. You know, the Big Mama didn't at least try to nudge them in the right way until all of a sudden they grown. Now she wants them to get a job. Now she wants them to help, but you never tried to get that sooner. So now it's too late. You can't expect a bum that you've been letting be a bum for so long. Now you're trying to tell him it's time to be a man now. That doesn't work that way. You have to get a man. You have to get a man when he's trying to be a man, not a bum trying to be a bum. So here you go. This rebellion, because people waited. They let these people fester, just sitting there doing nothing, and now they're trying to say, get a job, do this, do that. Why don't you level up? Blah blah blah. And they're like, you've been letting me sit up here do this for so long. Now you want me to level up? I can't do that. So that's what it is.
But what is it right though? I mean, is it right for these guys to sit up here and just, because I mean, I can understand teenagers or kids that don't know no better, but every grown adult should know that they got to pay their way. Should nobody have to tell you got to pay your way?
I'm not saying it's right. Nobody's saying it's right. But let's just look realistically. Let's take you take a kid, you're getting them sweets all the time. Then all of a sudden you take the sweets away and you give him a vegetable. You think he's not going to be happy because he's getting this vegetable? He ain't going to be happy about that. He's going to want that sweet because that's what he used to.
Right. They're going to throw their fists up in the air, throw a tantrum and everything else. And that's what I see is going on here. The black women done took the sweets away. They done took the Nintendo, the couch, the sex. They done took all the sweets away, and now you got all these bums out here rebelling. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Right.
Hey, can it be an order that we go so everybody's turn? Like Brother Speaks goes, and BMC to me, and then back to GFA.
Well, CK, if you want to go, you can just go.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm done, really.
So go ahead, BT.
Okay. All right. So when it comes to, I guess, talking about that, and listen, man, like right now, like I guess it kind of hits a little bit more home for me because I am now I've been moved more so in the elder position uh for the household, and I am one of the youngest ones. Not because I'm old, it's just because I'm of the responsibilities I'm taking on. And so when it was challenged on, by an older male, well, why should he have say so in the land and the properties, houses, and the businesses? They're like, well, you don't have no skill, nigga. Excuse my language. You just don't have no skills. Like you laid up under grandma's house why she had breast cancer. You didn't even change her bandages. Like you wasn't even taking care of her. So why should you have entitlement towards that? And you see, that's the thing. That's the big issue. It's wanting to relive the heydays of when it was the golden era. When you were driving the box Chevy, when chicks were seeing you as that stud. And so now that people are waking up and they're like, I'm an adult now. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Faith, what's going on, baby? No, I have responsibilities. I have a job. I can't deal with you, Earl. Well, we'll freak you then. These women, they acting different because a white man gave them a job. No, it's just that some people understand that, listen, I can't sit on YouTube. Well, I can't sit in front of the TV. I can't try to still get my worker's dream or rapper dream. And see, we're now in the 2021 where it's like, yo, anybody can get it. Using that, woe was me, I'm black card, it ain't going to work. You just heard Biden say that out. That was the first thing he told black people, like, yo, don't use that black card no more. I don't want to hear it for 4 years. I don't want to hear that. You better get out there with the brown people. You better learn to get along. When the minute he said that, I'm not sure how the men felt about it, but the women were like, oh snap. I better go start working every hustle I got. And so it's every dog for himself. And nobody got time to carry nobody. So the men that are already out there working, the women that are out there working, they're not looking to carry anybody, but they got enough, especially with the way how this situation going on with the jobs and the market and the stock. So we don't have time to carry the weak men. Like, and no offense, but if you are a weak man, we should have let you die off a long time ago. And so we're looking at it now. Back then, yeah, let's be honest, grandma put up with a lot of BS because she was reared and breeded like that. She was reared and breeded like that to put up with the BS, because that's how women were trained back in the day, to put up with that type of logic of thinking. Man cheats, keep him in the house. Man goes to jail. Oh well, it's the white man. Like it was always something. But after a while, they started to catch on saying, "Yo, it's probably not like that." And especially you got it with some dude where they always been up under mommy suckling breasts. So now when they come out here dealing with other men, they might not care about your grievance. The stuff, the talking points are dead. It's like I told the older man. You know what I'm saying? You're 41 years old. Listen, you got by in 2 days. You get off my properties. Get off, or you can rent one. You can rent one. And believe me, he cried. He went to the church. He asked the other mothers and all. He went to other women and men to talk to me rather than come to me and speak to me as a man. And you know what's crazy? I told him, if you cut the grass, I'll let you stay. He couldn't even do that. But I was supposed to pity a 41-year-old man. Mind you, he has 3 kids and he got another kid on the way. So actually, he has another baby with a girl that's 22 years old on the way. But yet no job. But I'm supposed to just keep him sheltered under me. Nah, I sometimes you just got to. Sometimes the best love you can do for the bums is just let him die on his own addiction, and that's what I'm letting. That's what I'm letting him do, and other black men in suit. Got to just learn to let them die. There's no shame in that. There's nothing wrong with that. Let them die in their own pity. The women, they're starting to wake up, and the other men that are already out there, they're already out there right working and fighting. So if they're getting their stuff together, and the men that are already out there, they're just meeting up with them. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel so. That's just it is what it is. Let's keep it moving.
All right. Well, I just wanted to welcome to the panel Sheila E., the Quiet Storm. Sister, what's going on? Have you anything to offer to the conversation? What did you hear so far?
No, I was just saying what y'all saying about BMT, about different things, and then what you was saying. But I want to know if I'm getting off topics, because I see if we talk about immigrants.
No, we're not talking about immigrants. I had just used a example because a lot of black men like to use an example that other cultures live in the same households together for forever and ever. And I was just saying that, with those cultures, they're not just living in those households and you got one person
Oh,
working and just taking care of everybody like you do with Big Mama house. Big Mama sit up here, work, take care of everybody, and you got a bunch of bums laying up on the couch playing Nintendo.
yes,
But in the
yes.
Mexican household, everybody work. It ain't no bums in there. Everybody got a job in there. So you can't use them as an example. That's what I was saying.
Oh no, it's so funny you said that, because where my daughter lives, like condominiums, like four of them live upstairs. They all got brand new cars, everything. They all work. And what they do is, did about five or six of them to live together. One get a house and like a four-bedroom. They all stay with them. Then that one get a house. It's like, and what they do is they get the houses, dehabit the houses. Well, I noticed. And one thing about our people that we have to understand, we don't have no unity. We like crabs in the barrel, and we have to stop that. Because you look at it now, ain't nobody ain't nobody doing blacks. They haven't been doing blacks for a long time. And you're right, they do get together, but they do have confusion like us to a certain extent, Faith. Because don't think they all get along, because they don't. But one thing about them, when they're in position, they do help their people. They get jobs in different places, or a social service, or habitat houses in the inner city and stuff like that. They do look out for their own before they look out for any others. So, we need to start
Okay.
doing that.
And I agree.
I'm,
As long as we're productive and we're helping each other and we're trying to come up, but not just sitting around letting Big Mama do all the work and all the heavy lifting. And you see she getting older and older and older, and she dying out, and you still don't have the presence of mind. 'Cause I hear guys on this panel and in the audience, they're saying stuff like, "Oh, but we didn't ask Big Mama to do all this; she just did it," or these women ain't doing no more than what they want to do. And my thing is, what part of you as a grown ass man, when you watching your mama breaking her back every day going to the same job, do you feel compelled to say, you know what, let me go out and help mama pay these bills? I never ever ever see any sympathy for mama. No
No,
sympathy
because
whatsoever.
they're on internet talking about black women all day. So when you talking about black women all day, who you talking about? Your mother, your sister, even talking about your daughters, because some of y'all got black daughters. I'm
Exactly. And
being in the
so
chat. That get me pissed off. I'm being in the chat because, girl, you done got me pissed off tonight. I'm just no,
but
I'm
thank you.
serious. I'm about sick of this.
But you know what, Sheila, it pissed me off, and that's the reason why I had to come up with this topic, because there's so many black women getting hurt. A lot of black women. You heard all the things that happened in New York City alone. That's just New York City, where all
And
these black women are being jumped on.
we shut it down too. See, we don't play that. They shut that whole block down, and they threatened the liquor store owner. They didn't tell y'all that. They had him. We want to see the tape.
And that's what
So
should
that's
happen.
it.
That's exactly what should happen, because we should not accept anymore this bomb culture of black men attacking black women because black women are trying to level up. They're basically angry because black women are saying, hey, you cannot no longer have access to me. You can't have access to my body, my finances, anything unless you have gotten your stuff together. And that is a woman's right to do so. You are not entitled to this woman's body. You're not entitled to her finances. You're not entitled to her sofa. You know, you have to come to this black woman with something. And now a lot of these bums are angry because a lot of these younger women are saying, no, there's no more big mama. There's no more mammies running around here for you guys. It's a few of them, but even they starting to wake up and say no. And that's why we have the bum rebellion that we have today. That's why they are rebelling, because they're angry. They're saying black women think that we're better than them. And instead of them bettering themselves, they want to attack black women. That's what's going on out here.
I only see that. I'm be honest. I only see that on YouTube, and I see the guys who did it in the city. They must have been listening to the Manosphere or something, because our young boys don't do stuff like that. And then you got one who shot his mother because she told him to get a job. I like, what is wrong with this generation? But you know what, Faith? It go right back to the household. They get no discipline. They get no standards and morals in the household. Anything goes. I
So
mean,
Big
these
Mama
kids
held and
is so angry. Go ahead.
so Big Mama held and kept family together no matter what. See, Big Mama was the problem because Big Mama was helping people sweep stuff under the rug. You know, you had girls get pregnant, they send them up north while she give birth, come back, and then Big Mama would raise the kid. Big Mama was cooking for a whole bunch of different families. See, Big Mama was the crutch. Just like the current welfare system, that's a crutch and a hindrance. You know, you get on it, it's very difficult to get off because you're kind of somewhat subconsciously accepting the handout as opposed to pulling yourself up by your own bootstrap out of your own hole. Big Mama is what hurt us. And taking Big Mama out of the equation is a benefit because we no longer have the training wheels. We no longer have the crutches. We can walk on our own feet. So it was the appearance that Big Mama was holding together the family and keeping people together. But what Big Mama was escapism. She promoted an environment of learned helplessness, accepted powerlessness. And now that Big Mama's gone, people are running around talking about some woe is me. Well, no. What it is there's no one who's going to allow people to lean on them, and you have to lean on yourselves. You have to learn to adult. So we need to promote an environment of being self-sufficient, individualism, and no excuses. Because again, we're in a sink or swim society. So trying to cut corners, trying to do things outside of solving your own problems is going to just do nothing but kick the can down the road until you have no more road and the can kicks back. Okay, that's all I want to say.
All right. Well, I haven't heard from Bro Speak in a while. I see him down there being quiet. Bro Speak, do you have anything that you wanted to add?
Um, no, not really. I mean, CK said it best. You know, I we've been, like I said before, we've been letting these people fester, sit up, do nothing. Don't give them no hope or nothing. Don't even give them no skills. We're not directing them anywhere. Some of these guys have been abused while in these homes. Big Mama covered it up. Some of these boys have been sexually abused. Big Mama covered it up. So, you know, that's that all that added together. And, now people starting to not give a don't give a fuck. So at the end of the day, what do you expect? You got a bunch of angry bums out here attacking everybody because nobody gave a fuck when they were sitting there. Nobody gave them no guidance. Nobody gave them anything. Nobody cared about their pain or anything. So now they're just taking it out on. Since this topic is just about the women, they're taking it out on the women that they feel have abused them and not gave a fuck about them. So it is what it is. So
Absolutely. And BMT, did you have anything that you wanted to add before we move on?
Now let's move on.
Okay. Now, I saw a comment here earlier, and I think it was something that Water Sniper had put. Hold on a second. I'm looking for it right now. Water Sniper putting you on Front Street here. So I'm just acknowledging the comments in the comment section of the people that had a lot to say. Okay, he says exactly, BMT. These older genders are living vicariously through the younger gender. I do happen to agree with that. But what does that got to do with the epidemic of a lot of these bummy black men that are hanging on street corners in front of liquor stores and different things, running up on young black women and attacking them?
yeah, I think he was talking about the older women teaching the younger women. I guess that's what he was. I think that's what he's getting to.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, I think he was talking about that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Unless,
Well, no, let me move
No,
on.
we need to stop putting words in his mouth. I mean, if Water Sniper wants to come on the panel and explain that, then let him
yeah,
explain that. Let's not put words in his mouth.
I was going to say that he probably explained it better than I can. That's just I think that's what he was referring to, but he can explain himself. I don't want to.
And Water Sniper also says they are trying to paint all black men as bomb. This is why they run into bomb Brad when they level out. And okay, now
Hey,
see,
Water Sniper, who's they? Water Sniper, who's they? What's the antecedent of they? So we're not twisting your words up because you're not coming on the panel, you're not explaining yourself, and then we're getting your words all twisted up and they're wasting time. So what's the antecedent of they? Who are you speaking to as far as they? And when you give the answer of they, if it's black women, I don't know. I don't think anybody on the panel is saying all black men as bums. We're referring to people who are bums. So go ahead, Faith.
okay, yeah, and I was just going to say that we're not saying all black men are bums or anything like that. We're just talking about the ones who are hanging out on street corners, don't have a job, and they feel entitled to the black woman's resources and her body. This is it in a nutshell. And now that a lot of black women are, in fact, leveling up and choosing better, as you all have charged us to do, a lot of you have told black women to choose better. And now what you see is that black women are choosing better. And as a result, there is a great bomb rebellion going on out here where these guys are attacking these women because they're rejecting them. They don't want to talk to them. They don't want them to buy them any wine at the liquor store. They don't want have nothing to do with these bums. And so now they're telling these black women, you think you're better than me, and they're going on the rampage. That's what we're talking about. We're not saying all brothers are doing this, because I know some pretty upstanding brothers, but there is an epidemic going on where there are a lot of these brothers out here, these bums, attacking these black women because they're saying, hey, I'm leveling up. I don't want to talk to you. You are a bum. Get away from me. That's it in a nutshell. That is what is going on. And what I'm saying is, what are we as a community of black people, what are we going to do about this? Black women, what are you going to do to protect yourselves? What are you going to do to be proactive about protecting yourselves? My daughter told me the other day, she was in her car, and a black male who was a bum, by the way, came up to her car knocking on her window. And she said he was really being aggressive. He said he's hungry and he wants to eat. She said he didn't even ask her He just stated he hungry and he wanted to eat, and he was being real aggressive about it. And she said she was so scared that she felt intimidated enough to go and get him something to eat because he was really insistent that she do so. And I was angry with my daughter because I told her, I said, no, you do not entertain these bums out here. He does not have a right to your resources. The same way that you were driving home from work, he could have been going home from work with money in his pocket and resources of his own. But he chose his path in life. And he had no business knocking on your window like that, insisting that you feed him as if he's entitled to your resources. No, man. And that's what we got a lot of out here. And if she had not been in her car, he probably would have attacked her. I don't care what you all say. I really believe this. And so I am a proponent for Black women going and learning self-defense and going and getting their gun licenses for open and concealed
Right.
carry if their state allows.
Right.
It's too much of this going on. But go ahead, Sheila.
No, I was going to say the same thing you said. Instead of sitting up there having their girls twerking, mine was in the gun range and stuff like that. So, like American Express, never leave home without it. Because now, like I said, is war on Black women, and you have to protect yourself. And I know the state of New York had the toughest gun law. So we writing Governor Como a proposal because what's going on with our Black females, you know? But the end of the day is I've really been saying it, and I had a meeting day before yesterday that we really need some upstanding males to really teach our younger males, because this the effect we have when we have no leadership, male leadership, or uncles or grandfathers stepping up to the plate, teaching these young boys respect and responsibility and accountability of what they do, you know? Because they, like I said, the school system already labeled them. They could tell by the 5th or 6th grade they're going to be in jail.
Absolutely. Let me see here. Who haven't we heard from? BMT, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
No, I ain't got nothing. No.
Okay, if
But
nobody
thank you,
else.
Faith. I'm going to drop down. Okay.
Okay, thank you for coming,
Okay.
Sheila.
And BT, hello. And the other two guys, good night.
Good night, Miss Sheila.
Good night, Sheila. Thanks for coming. All right, well, I wanted to go ahead and move on to the next comment. This is from Michael Israel. He says, people are always looking at the effects rather than the causes. Until we look at the dysfunctional family units the bombs come from, we will continue to suffer these social ailments that plague us. And I actually agree with this comment. Does anybody have anything to say about this comment here?
Yeah, I mean, he's right. I mean, because I was on a panel, and they were trying to blame the Black Manosphere and the SYSBM and the Big Tower Red Pill, and I told them, that no, they're not the cause; they're the symptom of the bigger cause. Even these attacks, they're a symptom of a bigger cause. And the cause is that we're not teaching these, like Miss Sheila said. There's nobody teaching these boys. There's nobody giving these boys therapy to deal with this anger and this rage that they have. There's nobody teaching them any skills. There's nobody doing anything for these boys. Even if the mother, in the best situation, the mother is doing the best she can, but there's only so much she can do because she's working. And there's nobody
and nobody's helping. Nobody helping these boys and these men to get that rage out one way or the other. Therapy, martial arts, all that stuff that can help these boys focus on something else than their rage and anger, or put it to good use. Instead, they're allowed to sit there and fester. They sit there, they ain't doing nothing. Then all of a sudden, we're asking them to be a job or be a man. It's too late. So again, like I said, Michael Israel's right. If we're not getting at the cause, you can try to stop the manosphere all you want. The SYSBM, the Eight Moors, all these groups. You can do that if you want to, but you're not, until you focus on the real problem. There's just gonna be another group replace it. Instead of Black Manosphere, be Black Mansphere. Instead of SYSBM is go to other countries, man. I mean, it's always gonna be another group, but until you get to the root cause of it, is what these people are not being taken care of. Then you're not trying to get them anything. You're just letting them fester. You're gonna see more and more of these attacks. And I mean, then
But
what?
here's a thought. Does anybody on the panel ever think about the fact that maybe we shouldn't just kick the bombs off the couch cold turkey? Like instead of kicking them off the couch cold turkey, maybe we should just kind of wean them off the couch. What do you think?
Uh, eh, I mean, you can, but how? What do you mean by weaning them off? Like, what do you mean? Like,
Can I answer the comment?
Oh yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, CK. Go ahead.
kind of
Your mic is
boring.
getting worse.
Yeah, he's boring.
Before I go, because I'm
Well, BMT, did you have anything you wanted to add?
About what? Come on, weaning people off the couch or just
BMT there.
helping people? Yeah, I'm right here. I'm right here. Yeah. No, there's no such thing as weaning somebody off of stuff like that. It doesn't exist. It's either you want to or not. There's no such thing as that. It's either they want to get it right or they don't. Um, as far as it goes, listen, if I told you that somebody, and we've been doing it already, it's called get a job. It's called, hey, I'm giving you a chance to get your life on track, but you're not taking it. And just that we're dealing with in the community, I think we're just looking inward. So as far as it's going, uh, that's just something that if they don't want to do that, then yeah, you have to just let them go. And yeah, it hurts, but it's okay. It's all right. It's not like you never heard of somebody who wouldn't get off of drugs, and guess what? You had to say, you can't come back here no more. You can't come back here because you're just stealing. You take it from the household. So it's nothing different about this. This is nothing new. Like this has been going on for a long time. It just, I mean, the only thing is nothing that it's not a we. It's an individual thing. You want to let people in your life like that? That's on you. I mean, like I said, I don't like I said those kind of issues. You let people know at the door, hey, if you can't get it together, I just can't help you. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that a lot of people been doing, and they're just learning the hard way. They can't afford them, so yeah. Go ahead, man.
All right, am I back?
Oh, good. I thought I was tripping.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I went out for a second. You guys know I'm driving, so my signal goes in and out. Sorry about that. Oh, I see D the Rail down there. What's up, D? Okay, where did we leave off? Who was talking?
I was going. The new guy needed to talk. He haven't said anything yet.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second. I didn't even know who I welcome to the panel here. Neophyte. What's up, brother? What did you want to add to the conversation? I'm sorry.
Thanks, sis. Look, you know me, fellow driver. I always got some questions. My main question is like, if you were to wing someone off of their bad habit of being at home with no job or whatever you want to call it, what would you do it with? I'm looking at a different angle or something. I guess it's a little weird, but in my opinion, with the environment that we're in is what is causing this bumminess, quote unquote, as being the epidemic. Not necessarily the fact that bums are doing bum things, but the fact that the environment is conducive to this negative behavior that we're seeing. I honestly don't see it as an epidemic, but I do see it as a very big problem. I mean, this again is my opinion, but I'm just going into like very specific details. I'm starting from, I don't know, let's say middle school, for example, middle school through high school, where we have programs literally being removed that we used to have access to, but they're no longer there. And then once you get out of that, we have a system of, I mean, if you look at your colleges and whatnot, the criteria with those classes that are needed to get some of those degrees are a death trap financially. Economically, they keep changing the requirements, the class requirements, leaving you paying for more and more classes and keeping you out of the workspace. And then once you actually finally do get your degree, no one wants to take you. And then you get educated bums on your couch with a degree and can't get anything. Now, again, just share my opinion. I'm looking at the environment that we're in, creating it on a different level. Before, it was like in the 80s, you had the crack epidemic and whatnot. We had that, not excuse, but that situation plaguing the black community. And then before that, you know, well, you know, we already know we don't have to go down this history path in order to understand the different things that the black communities on from coast to coast. Doesn't matter where you were, if it was a black neighborhood, or it was a black community, or anything of that nature, it was systematically destroyed from within the household first. I mean, we go into child support, the child support office and whatnot, and you go in and you go fill out your paperwork. One of the main criteria that you have to adhere to was not having a stable household, meaning that you could not have a black man in the home and qualify for subsidy. And I'm thinking that's a setup, plain and simple. My mother never got on child support, but had the opportunity to get on child support. But when she saw the fact, like, she loves reading everything. She read the fine print and that was like, no, I'll just go out and bust my ass and find another way of being able to make it, because this is a death trap. no black man in the house is one of the criteria to be able to receive federal aid? Nah, she smelled that a mile coming. This is a black
So,
woman I'm talking about. So yeah.
so my question to you is, when you were referring to what I said about weaning them off the couch, what I'm
Uh,
saying is you give them X amount of time to get a job, save their money, and go find them somewhere to live because
now,
they're not your responsibility.
are we referring to the children specifically, or are we
I, I,
talking about?
I'm talking about any adult that just basically is sitting up on their parent or their grandmother or big mama or even if you got a bum Negro living in your house, and hell, I wouldn't even give him no time at all. He would just have to go.
I'm
But
still trying to
you know,
figure
if
out
you
how the hell the bum Negro got into your house in the first place. I mean, not the.
hey, it's a lot of mammies out here. The mammy syndrome is how they got in there. Because a
Yeah.
lot of these black women have been told that they supposed to hold the brother down.
Well, yeah.
And
I mean,
so
if you're in a relationship with one, or if you're raising one, yeah, I can see that. But any old bum off the street, pineapples, I don't think so. I don't know you, bro. You're a stranger to me. You shouldn't be in there in the first place. I mean, but that's just my logical thinking. Okay, so let's go into it. Um, let's say your children, your grandchildren, raising these children. If you want to wing them off, I mean, I'll play into it because I don't really understand how you can wing them off of it. But just fast forward, how are we going to wing them off? They need an extracurricular activity of some sort. They need a lawnmower or some shit, and go and cut Sister Betty Francis' house down the street. That's your job now. Until you start earning something, give them something to do. Your neighbor across the street, she's elderly. She needs to have her. And I've said this before on a couple other panels, where you have a small community where you have maybe one or two black folks that live on the same block who really should be getting to know each other. This is kind of long and drawn out. Bear with me. But when several of these mothers get together and they sit down and understand that they all have the same problem, instead of looking at it like, okay, they're going to end up killing us one day or something like that, having a doomsday kind of aspect to it. Hey, my son is a troublemaker and we need to give him something to do. All right, well, I got a lawn that needs to be weeded or whatever. Have him come over and weed my grass or weed my lawn. Hours go by. This man has to do this several times out of the week. Now, mind you, he doesn't have a motivation to go and do this. There's no incentive.
all right.
There's where the motivation comes in. There's where the problem I feel comes in right away is there's no incentive to do these things. There's no way of incentivizing him without the black woman. I don't. Now I'm not saying what is between your legs is the incentive. That's neither here nor there. That shouldn't be on the table in the first place. But that's if you're in the relationship. But if it's children, then you're dealing with, okay, well, if they want a household to live under, if they want this roof, they have to go and do this. These are the rules. You don't follow the rules, okay, then you got to get out. But I'm just spitballing here. Hopefully something lands. But I digress.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was unmuted. Yeah, what you
Uh,
said make a lot of sense because that's what I'm talking about. We've got to start getting them off the couch and getting them to self-sufficiency. Now, I don't agree with just putting anybody out cold turkey, but you know, I'm not cold-hearted like that. but I will, give a person warning, like, hey, you got X amount of time to get your stuff together, and it's time for you to go. And then, stand firm on what you're saying, and don't be afraid to let them go out there, because this person has chose their fate. But bro, speak. Did you have anything that you want to add to that?
No, I mean pretty much what he's saying is spot on, and I think that's what should have been done. You have to, if you're talking about children, yes, you got to give them something to do, something, put them around different areas or something, different things. Have them intern somewhere. Do something instead of letting them just sit on the couch and letting them figure it out for themselves. You letting them figure them out for themselves, they ain't gonna do it unless they are self starters. And how many of them are going? How many of us are self starters? Usually, when we do something, it's out of a necessity, not just we just want to do something. So we have to get especially the children. Now, when we talking about grown ass men, like you said, he shouldn't have been there in the first place. If you taking care of a grown ass man, that's be either two things. Either you felt sorry for him, or you're lusting after him, and then all of a sudden, now after 3 years and 3, 4, 5 kids later, now all of a sudden you want him to be a man. That's not how that goes. That hasn't worked. That's never worked, and now you see the results of that. So it's got to come down to, we got to stop following your lower base nature and thinking about the future. And for the kids, it's got to be, give these kids something so they can learn some skills, learn something. And then now if they don't want to do it, like you said, give them the ultimatum. Hey, look, you got 6 months to get out. I don't know what you're going to do in 6 months, but if you ain't out, you got to go out. The end. You can't just, hey, you got to have 6 months before you got to get this job in 6 months. I don't care what you do, but you got to get this job. You can't just all of a sudden be like, hey, wake up one day and be like, go get a job. That's not going to work. You're going to end up, something bad's going to happen. And the worst case scenario, you might get 2 in the back of the head. So I think at the end of the day, it has to, for whoever you gotta have a no tolerance of that. You gotta, if they're children, you gotta help them learn some skills, get them out there. Hey, help, like the guy said, cut grass, help her with the groceries. Hell, I mean, well, I would say babysitting, but that's more girls, but something. Just do something. So
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. I think he's
Oh,
having,
okay.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't see why we can't just tell them cold turkey to get a job, especially if they well into their 20s, and they've been laying up on the couch for so many years, and especially if it's a grown butt man is in their 30s or 40s. I don't feel bad at all about just telling them cold turkey, you need to go get a job or else.
well, we're making them. I think we're making the mistake of, number one, that's not a man. If he's living off of you that long and haven't tried to do anything, that's not a man. That's a male at best, a boy at worst. So with
It's a whole
guys like
grown
that,
ass
you got to
baby with
treat,
a diaper. I can't.
right. You got to treat them like children. Hey, try to give them a job here, try to give them a job there. Hey, my ex she literally filled out an application for me to go get a job. I mean, you got to do something. You can't kick somebody off cold turkey and you've been letting them bum at your house forever. I don't care if he is a grown, that's not a grown ass man. You got to treat them like children. But
Wait,
at the
hold
end of
on. Why does she have to
fill out a job application for you.
Hey, I'm telling you, these are grown ass children that if you letting some dude lay up in your house, play video games all the time, how is he any different than a child? How is he any different? So you have to treat them as a child. You got to nurture them into going to be self-sufficient. If not, then you give them that ultimatum. But like I said, you let them in. You let them sit up here and do nothing. You didn't require them to be a man at the jump. You can't then all of a sudden require them to be a man at the end. How you, like somebody said, in a relationship is how you finish, is how you start. If you started letting him be a bum when he came in, all of a sudden you can't finish with him being a productive person. He's gonna be a bum. So if you want to change that, you're gonna have to take those steps. Or again, it's gonna come to taming your lower base selves, not letting people in who's not a productive individual. You know, if you want to level up, level up. I don't have no problem with that, but you got to start sooner and control that lower urges, especially with guys that you're dating, and then at the end they're like children. They're not men. Even that 21-year-old, that wasn't a man. That was a boy. You can't shock somebody into being a man. It's not going to work. It's going to end badly. Just like you do children, you got to ease them into it, and then at the end, give them that ultimatum. But the best advice is to not let them in the first place.
I agree. I do agree with that. And no, I don't condone myself, just letting somebody lay up on the couch and, just eat up all the resources. Hold on a second. I'm trying to ring up something here. Hold on one second.
The only question I really have about the situation is, how exactly did this person get there? There's a whole story in that I believe is missing from there to here. Like, there's got to be some detail to that, because you're right. I mean, you can't just, I don't know, shotgun them into, doing something that they've never been groomed to do in the first place. Right? They're not going to have the motivation or the incentive to do anything if it was never there in the first place. So that's the question. But again, I just got to get a little more detail on that. Otherwise, I'm just kind of going. I'm laughing at it because it doesn't seem like a legitimate circumstance or situation to even really discuss. But these things are happening. But we got to get a few more details so we can figure out where it is that we need to go. You know what I mean? I mean, just saying.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. I'm sorry, I had to. I was in the at the counter getting my stuff rung up, and so I had to go on mute real quick because they don't like you talking on your cell phone.
Hello, driver. I know what you mean.
Are you over the road? Or are you local?
I'm an over the road owner operator.
Oh, okay, nice.
Been out here since 2005.
You've been out there a long time. I was out here since about. Well, I'm not over the road anymore. I'm local, but I've been driving for about 15 years.
Oh yeah, so we started around the same time then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a much different world now.
Oh yeah.
Much
And
different.
see, I guess because, I'm a woman in a male dominated industry, I just can't fathom the thought of any man wanting to live off of any woman, period. I just don't understand that thought process. I know a lot of you all are saying that these guys are used to it because this is something that their mothers passed down. They didn't teach them anything. But I think that we put a little bit too much onus on they didn't know better. Because I'm here to tell you that when little black girls, when they get pregnant or anything goes wrong with us, they don't tell us that we didn't know better or any of that stuff. They don't give us no leeway for error at all. And as a matter of fact, they'll say that you grown when you start menstruating. They go into these little talks about women maturing faster than boys and all of that.
Who, society or
Yeah,
society?
I have heard that right here, online, men and women saying it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah,
say you're wrong. I can't say you're wrong. I've heard that too. Um,
I got a
you
whole
know,
theory about that, but I'll spare you guys that long drawn out story. I did, however, do a tarot reading not too long ago. I'll I'll spare you the name and the place of where I did it to protect them. But um, this young lady was dealing with a situation that she's getting herself into, just didn't realize that she was getting herself into. We're talking about shadow work, and I guess you would say uh, I don't know, just things that your parents did, and you find yourself repeating those same things that your parents did, but don't realize that you're doing it.
Generational curses.
Yes, ma'am. Generational curses.
mm,
Like basically, she was what 18, and she was talking to a guy who was older, gaming her up, filling her head up with all kinds of sweet nothings, putting that game on her. And I'm like, this sounds like something that your mother did. This is what the cards said. This sounds like something that your mother did, or maybe even your grandmother on top of that. How old are you again? And how old is your mother? Oh, your mother was the same age you are right now. So it looks like, young lady, that you are getting ready to go down the same path that your mother and your grandmother did. And we're talking about generational curses. Now, I do readings like this all the time, not just in one place. I'm talking about as a driver, I'm going back and forth to these different places, and I'm still dealing with the same story. There's a bigger picture going on that a lot of us aren't even like privy to. We're so close to the trees, we can't see the forest basically.
Mm.
Right? It's a crazy notion. It's not a crazy notion because it actually happens to us all the time. We don't look at what point do they say that you are an adult, and when do they start treating you as such. So they're doctrinating us up with all of these different things at an early age, and then once we get older, we don't know how to function because we were adults at teenage years. Whereas white folks, and I'm taking it there, whereas white folks, for some reason, every time I look at them in the media, they don't have teenagers. I'm like, where in the white society do they actually acknowledge the fact that their kids are teenagers? They have children, adolescents, and then magically they're adults, right? But only after they're about 30. Anything underneath 25 is still their children, and they treat them as such. You can see that in the media. But when it comes to black communities, you're an adult at 16. They treat you as such. You can get incarcerated and locked up as an adult at 16. You know, the legal age limit is 18. 18 is older is where they like call you an adult. For some reason, the only time that I've seen that actually apply is for special circumstances or white kids. They put your kids in the back of the classrooms all the time.
That's
They
true.
tell the little black boys are, I don't want to start sounding like Umar Johnson or anything, but they tell you little black boys that you suffer from ADD or ADHD. I was told this when I was in elementary, so I remember distinctly being told that I suffer from an acute form of ADD, attention deficit disorder. This is not a disease. It's not something that you can inherit. But yet, this is what happens, and we don't really see the long-term effects. But the scientists do. And then, you know, we gravitate towards activities that are hands-on and creative. But all of those things are removed from your elementary on up to high school. I see something bigger going on here, is what I'm saying. Just looking at bums. They're bums now, yeah, unfortunately, that's what happens. But I'm really looking at something that's a little more profound and destructive to just black people. Not the Mexicans, not the Chinese, not any other race of people that are on these here shores. I'm just talking about black people, because this is the only arguments that I ever see with us. We're literally at war with our opposite sex. Men and women are at war with each other right now. But we don't realize that it's being crafted from elementary on up with this weird ass negative narrative that we've all kind of been stuck with. I don't know. I'm going on a rant. I'm just expounding on some things that I've noticed.
Yeah.
And it scares me because, well, it doesn't scare me. It concerns me because the arguments wouldn't be arguments if we really stood back and looked at the actual circumstances and the puppeteers behind them, albeit your politicians, your senators, your state lobbyists, and everybody who actually controls the inner functionings of your neighborhood. So, again, I digress. I'm going on a rant again. My bad.
All right. Well, I appreciate you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What do the people that control our neighborhoods have to do with anything?
Oh,
Well,
What do you mean, like the mayors? What do you mean, like the mayors and that type of stuff?
Oh, yeah, of course. Those people. What do they have to do with it? All right, say you have a business that you want to start up. Say a skating rink, for example, in your neighborhood. Well, you have to get approval for the insurance through your town council, your city board, or your mayor. Now, if you're...
Are you talking about starting businesses and things?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's just an example. I mean, I can go into any other form that you want to talk about, but that's just a small example.
Okay. I get
right? And a skating rink, if you think about it, is a target for anywhere from middle school on up to high school, even to your adult age, where you can go and actually that provides a low-income job for the youth specifically, and an outlet for your youth as well. But if they don't approve of it, because it's an insurance risk, well, now we're starting to look at, okay, this is new, with like redlining, just packaged with a different ribbon. We don't really look at these little things right here. So I'm just saying, it's very intricate, it's very detailed, but It is there.
Oh, okay, because I'm thinking bums don't know nothing about that.
Well, Arab Black TV, I do want to welcome you to the panel. Was there
Thank
something
you, Faith.
specifically?
Thank you for having me as always.
I know because when you were down there, you had a lot of stuff to say. So I'm glad that you came up, brother. So what did you want to add to the conversation?
Um, I don't know exactly what angle to attack from. I'll just start rambling. First of all, men don't see themselves as bums. Okay, they're not going around, woe is me, I'm a bum, I ain't nothing in life, da 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 da. I mean, they might share some inner feelings that they may be thinking, or insecurities like anybody has with somebody, but they're not necessarily going around thinking, I'm a bum, I'm a bum, I'm a bum. That's a classist thing, people try to put on people and class them and put them in a box. I think men have to have a certain way and style of how they do things, no matter what their status or class is in life. You know what I mean? I don't believe in coming to a woman with nothing and just pockets, just empty handed, and can you help me and all this type of stuff. I mean, that's not even a man. So from women's aspects, women are just attracted to what they're attracted to. A lot of women are trying to live a life of independency and dependency at the same time. So you have to take into account the styles and ways of what women have, because women have their own homes and situations, and they want a man. They want a man to come into the home. A lot of women want their own in-house, penis and things like that. So they're trying to manipulate men or deal with men that, they can have on that level. So there's a lot of that going on. As far as bums, like guys that have mentally went ill, and they asking for change and all, that's a whole nother level of men. Those guys are actually mentally ill, actually need some type of motivation and lease on life that they can't seem to get from their own motivation, so they are in the situation that they are in. And actually they need a lot of help, you know what I mean? But they're gonna, unless they get help, unless they ascend to the into not being the bum that society doesn't need, and usually by way of a woman, they are going to be in that situation, and men do slip into those situations. So a lot of times the family aspect is about, especially for men and all the things that we go through in the system, and having jobs, losing jobs, trying to have families and hold on to loves, and just all the things that we try and accomplish and get through in our day. If we don't have the proper women in our lives, a lot of men slip, down and through the cracks into, I don't even know why I'm alive. I don't know why I'm here, and really become bums. So a lot of the family dynamic is about not letting men slip. I'm not, we ain't gonna let you go there. You know what I mean? Come on in here, get your head right, get your mind right, get on out there and get to it. That's a family aspect that we've always have, as long as I've been alive and been, witnessing us and how we get down in the black diaspora and dynamic of the black household. So there's a lot of different things at play. I mean, we could talk about a lot of different angles and things, but at the end of the day, when you're talking about bums or guys that, guys that are not the quote unquote high level guy, I mean, men are just men. Men want attention from women. Men see women that they want to make their wife right away, every day, all the time, and can't even get close to her or get a hello, or and there's all type of dynamics and things going on. So at the end of the day, people are just grown people, and people are going to make their choices and decisions, and they got to live with them. Nothing is guaranteed. People are going to break up and get back together or move on and all these different things. But I don't condone people being bums or being in bum situations, because you have bum women and bum men. So it's more about people, especially from the black aspect of us coming together, seeing that if we connect and have chemistry, or what we can do together. It's more about creating families anyway, and rising and rising together. So this is how we live. This is how we always lived. And unless y'all got another plan, I don't see any different. I mean,
Well, the
women are
thing
always going to
about
be
it is
attracted.
just because it's always been this way doesn't mean it has to remain this way. And that is the reason why I stated many videos ago that Big Mama is dead. Big Mama's gone. There is nobody to replace her anymore. So now that Big Mama's dead and gone, and a lot of her ideologies are gone. Big Mama's the ideology is no longer popular in the black community, amongst black women especially, because it would take black women to keep that mentality going. So now that the Big Mama mentality is dying out, you got more gold diggers on the rise. You got more black women leveling up on the rise, and sugar baby mentality and all of that. These black men do not have the couches to lay on. They don't have the women to lean on with the resources anymore. And I think it's a good thing, to be honest with you. I
hear
think
you if that's how
I
you see
think
it.
that yeah, because that's how I see it, because we've been hindering black men from becoming men. The very thing that you all complain that black women do, mollycoddle black men, we're not doing it anymore. You
I
know,
hear you,
that
but
that
this
that aspect is dying out. But
my
go ahead.
argument is that men are already men. They're already any man, any guy that's 21 and older is a man. You know, you may not like the type of man that he is or what he has or doesn't have or whatever like that, but he is a man. Now, men tend to not, take on too much responsibility or tend to make their responsibility their woman and build their world and their life around a woman. So unless women don't want that dynamic anymore, I don't see where we're going. Where else are we going? I mean, women are single, looking for men, and want that companionship and want that camaraderie and that teamwork. So I mean, we're always going to be looking for each other. I understand you don't want to see people on people's couches and things like that, but a lot of men are always in transition from one job to the next. A lot of security, and that's why they base a lot of things around around getting to that woman, because a lot of times men don't
But okay, but
have.
when have black women ever been able to just say, I'm in transition and can I go lay on your sofa?
Oh, men don't take women in.
I
Yeah,
definitely, I
I've done it.
definitely
I've
have
done it.
done
I've
that.
done it
yeah.
enough times.
So I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one. There are a bunch of women who've been able to do that
I'm
with
about to say I've
men.
done it enough
Hell,
times.
they've done it with women.
I'm just saying. I mean, we are people, like, and like, I mean, men are men. I mean, we all are trying to get somewhere. We're all gonna use each other to get somewhere. It's more about, can we make a family with each other? Are we doing family or aren't we? You know what I mean? And if women aren't gonna do family with a man, then they're just doing. I'm just Netflixing and chilling, or I'm just taking up time with you for nothing too much serious.
Well, as far as I can see in the community, and I'm just gonna tell you, because I be around black people too. There ain't too many bum females like there are bum men. Not saying that they don't exist, but like I said, when was the last time you could say that a woman can go to a man and be like, "Can I lay up on your sofa and not work, and you just take care of me, and I just sit here and watch hair videos all day and do my nails and all that type of stuff."
But
You
that's not the
guys are not
dynamic
doing
though,
that for
Ray.
black women.
That comes
Can I?
about. No man comes right in and gonna be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna play video games, eat up all your food, take your car." That
Yeah.
don't just
Oh,
go like
yes,
that.
they
Hold
do.
on,
Yes, they
hold
That
do.
on.
happens over time.
I got it. I got this
No,
one. I'll
no.
take this one. If you don't mind, I'll take this one. The reason why you don't see that, or you don't see the woman sleeping on the couch watching hair videos and things of that nature, is because they're not sleeping on the couch. They're sleeping in the bed.
Yep. Yeah.
That's the
So
difference. You
that's
don't see
Oh,
a
okay.
bum
Now, see,
woman because
it
they're not
doesn't matter.
sleeping on the
Couch,
couch.
bed,
They've
it
found their
don't matter.
way into the bedroom,
Okay,
and they're
okay,
no
but,
longer
but,
seeing
but
a bed.
Pookie is sleeping in the bedroom too. But this is what I'm
Exactly.
saying.
There it is.
This is what I'm
That's
saying.
the exact
Big
problem.
Mama do not let Boom Quisha lay on her sofa like she let Pookie lay on her sofa.
Oh
It
yes,
is just not done for black women like that.
yeah,
Big
they
Mama
do.
let everybody come
Body.
into the house. There
Yeah,
wasn't a corner of the house that was not available to anybody
I
that was not in
promise
Big
you.
Mama's
yeah.
household.
I promise you,
Yeah.
they make the black women go out and work faster than
No,
they make the black man go out and work.
Well, it
That's a
depends
poor
on the
family
type of
dynamic, just
divestment
And
period.
you're
and, and,
talking
and, and hold on,
no.
and if she don't work, she better be getting a welfare check. At least be getting a welfare check and some food stamps be bringing into the house.
That
Hey,
seems like a poor
mom.
family dynamic, just
Hey,
period.
my mom let some bum ass women stay with them. They would usually
All
look.
our Big Mamas did that. That's just a
Yeah,
bad family dynamic that you
I mean,
describing, period,
we're
Faith.
making it seem like it's
I've
just.
got
I
a
know it seems.
But why is a bad family dynamics when we're talking about women?
Because in my household, and just like that household that the guy's talking about and what he's seen, Big Mama didn't do that. Ain't none of my cousins, all of them had space in them all their life. Ain't that that's never not the case in a family. And when
Why?
Big Mama died, when my grandmother died, the next aunt up or the next my mother took over Big Mama's role, and and everybody's good with her.
Wait, hold on. Rare Jim says down here in the comments, she says, "You're right, Faith. It happened to my family when my mom died. My brothers didn't know what to do. They had a big mess to clean up and had to grow up." Exactly. And Commendable K, what are you doing down there in the comment section? You're supposed to be co-hosting. But anyway, Commendable K says Pookie and Boniqua both get the bomb treatment. Boniqua just lays on her back so she will have money more.
There you go. And let's not look at the biggest difference. Bokisha has the government to back her up in most cases. More opportunities to get help than the bum males. But don't let's be clear. There are some bum females out there, and they will lay up with a dude if this dude is desperate enough to have her. But like you said, she ain't laying on the couch; she's laying in the bed.
Have you been
It
listening to
just
what
it
women
just which
have been talking about with men? Like they don't want no 9 to 5 dudes. They want a certain type of dude with swag and certain things like this and that. Like this is what women want. Ain't no man forcing himself on no woman in today's time.
But now hold on.
Ain't no woman giving out no pity sex in these days and time.
When you say 9 to 5, are you talking about a 9 to 5 guy that's blue collar making above minimum wage? Like he bringing home at least 50 grand a year?
Well,
Or
from
are
what the
you
women
talking
have talked
about,
about,
huh?
now from what I've heard from the women, they didn't specify. They just said, "I don't want a dude who works 9 to 5. I want a dude who's able to, he hustles, he makes his own money, and he's able to move and shake like how he wants."
Well, you can't knock these women for wanting what they want. Like I said, a lot of these
That's
women
what I'm saying.
are looking to level up. They're not looking for mediocrity, and
yeah,
I
but
can't say that I blame them for that.
the problem is they're either waiting too late to do that, or they still letting this bum ass dude hang around though. So while they are leveling up, as they say, they still letting this bum dude in the back door.
It's funny how we call them bums, but they call them their love interests and their future.
Yeah, he got potential. That thing.
Right.
Wait a minute. Commendable K says he wasn't getting enough mic time as co-host, so I'll troll down. Okay, you know what, Commendable K, you need to quit. If you the co-host, how you gonna be asking for mic time? You the co-host. Ain't nobody got to give you no mic time.
You grab the mic, Kay.
Right,
Grab the mic and spit.
right. It's your shit. You grab the mic. That's why you the co-host.
She crazy. Oh boy.
Anyway,
Yeah, so I mean, my thing is, if a guy looks like DMX, right? A woman is having that same desire from and same visuals from the sex scene in Belly, and she's trying to get to that just like the next woman. You know what I'm saying? Or she's having her visuals and visions about this guy and what it could be and things. Like women have their attractions. Like I can't ever knock grown people for liking what they like. We like to sit back on the sideline and look at the situation and break the situation up and down, like, oh, you could do better than that and you don't need to be with him and all of that. But that's their choice. That's her choice.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I don't see people forcing themselves on each other. I see people hollering. Men want to holler at women and want to talk to women and get relationships started, and a woman is going to select the guy that she wants that with, and off they go.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Here's a good example of what I'm talking about here. Red Jim, thank you so much, sis. She says, my mother asked my brother to pay $40 a week for rent. See, that's nothing. He refused and cooked all the steak, shrimp, and she still let him stay in the house. I could never get that kind of treatment. Thank you, Rare Jim. Thank you for telling the truth, because you know good and daggone well, Mama did not let us eat up all the steak and the shrimp and still let us stay in the house in peace. She just didn't do it.
Well, is that because two women can't stay in the same house together? Is that more of a competition thing? Because that's what my mom usually would tell me. Yeah, two women can't stay in the house together. So, do you think that's the issue?
well, no, I just think that the mothers do not coddle the daughters like they coddle the sons, and that's a shame. But my co-host just got put in time out because he acting all punky.
Dang. No sympathy for the co-host either.
I think the mother and son relationship is age old. It's not to be messed with. It's special. It's in its own right, and it's just special.
Yeah.
What can I tell you?
And it could be especially weird. Yeah. So
I believe it's special, but I have a different point of view from that altogether. If I can share it with you for just a minute. To me, I've come to a crossroads several times in my life where I could have been a bum and have technically been a bum in the first place. All right? Throw myself on the chopping block here and say, I was that dude. But I was that dude right out of high school. I didn't but the circumstance behind it is the jacked up part. My parents were going through a hard time, which was kind of the influence to how I grew up. Kind of in between this place where I have both parents, but both my parents are struggling. The struggle got so bad that my parents had no choice but to move, but they couldn't afford to pay for my school. Going from garage to garage, living in whoever's garage I can at the time, just so I could stay and finish high school. Trying to figure out how it is that I was going to survive, because I had the allowance, lunch money, things of that nature. I had to find ways to be able to hustle and make my own, just to be able. Some time passed, and I finally graduated by the hair of my damn chin, despite my circumstance. I go back and try to link up with my parents because I'm still, I'm fresh out of high school. They wanted me to come home so I can have a better start. Well, that better start didn't exist. Here's what happened. In order to stay there, I had to go to college. Okay, got that. I enrolled myself into college. Now, in order to stay there, the next criteria was I got to be able to pay for it. First was, in order to stay in the house, I had to go to college to get a benefit. I still did both of those things. One way or another. So we went to I was getting ready to go
Wait, is it me or is he orking real bad?
It's him.
Hang on.
'Cause he be cutting out and stuff. You can't. He be cutting out, and I think it's something with the headphones or something over there.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna mute him. You're gonna have to. I don't know what's going on. You're probably on the road or something. But if you once you get your mic situation, come back and tell us the story again because we didn't hear any of it. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I think I think he was leaning towards like the dynamic in his household and structure was that he had to be doing something. He couldn't just be staying there. He had to go to college. He had to do something. So I don't know if that's where he was going for sure, but I think that's where he was going.
Well, yeah. Now, if that's where he was going, that's the ideal situation that I believe every parent should, put the structure for all their kids, whether it be male or female, because that helps them become the productive citizens of society and help them also get on their own 2 feet so that they can take care of themselves. No grown adult should be dependent on another grown adult, especially if they're older than them. I tell my kids all the time, I'm not going to be around forever. Heaven forbid something happened to me. What are you going to do if you're
Well,
dependent on me?
right. I think that I mean, Big Mama's house or just anybody's other situation is not your own. So that's just a stopping, situation until you get your situation together. The idea is that, we get, jobs and get on our feet and able to go establish our own relationships and not be on anybody else's time in Big Mama's house or sister's house or brother's house or anybody. We're supposed to be pairing off.
Absolutely.
If we don't pair off based on our situation in the black society and how we're not, we're not on such secure grounds. I mean, we're left on our own. We're left in, on somebody else's watch and trying to get it together. The thing is we have to pair. A relationship is our salvation. We have to relate. We have to work things out. We have to work together.
But now,
I think
do you
communication
agree?
is key. Hmm.
Do you agree? I'm asking the men on the panel. Do you agree, though, that black men have been babied and mollycoddled for the last, I want to say, maybe 30 or 40 years
I think some have. I think some have, and some haven't not. I mean, it, you know, it, I think some have. I think some have been treated like garbage in these family dynamics. Either way it goes, all of them feel entitled, whether because they was baby, coddled, whatever you want to call it, and then all of a sudden now they're expected to do something, or they never been coddled or anything. They've been thrown to the wolves at an early age, or been in an environment where they've been stifled and not in a good, been stifled from doing something. and now they're angry. So it's like it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things mixed together causing all this.
I think men are lone wolves. I think we're thrown to the wilderness of this world. We have to figure it out. We have to make it, and it's all on us. We don't have no backing from nobody. If we do have a good family dynamic or have some family members who, if we fall on hard times, that that's a plus. So that's I don't think it's coddling or anything. That's a plus in life. People need, nobody should be alone. People need somebody to help. You know what I mean? Stay afloat with. Nobody's just such a genius and just has it such together that they can just navigate through life solo by themselves. I just don't think that's even mentally sane for social creatures. As far as men, I think aspect of life that men go through, and being that we're more even from as kids and going through school, we don't sit down long. You know what I mean? We don't learn the same. We don't take to things the same technically like women do. But that's no excuse for anything. I'm just saying we don't take the things the same. With that being said, I think all men, no matter what, have to get out here, get a job, earn some money, get some money, be able to take care of themselves. That's just a given. I think every man knows that. No man is going through life not understanding or knowing that he has to be able to take care of himself. I think men get jobs, lose them. You know what I mean? I think men go through depressions. Men go through a lot of things like people go through things. So I'm looking at things like, oh, we have to get each other's backs. I mean, we just have to work things out. I don't think we're coddled so much. I think we are thrown to the fire, but we don't always rise to the occasion. I think we slip at a lot of times. I'm excluding the men that are highly educated, got great careers and jobs, and are very stable in life. I'm excluding that bunch.
Yeah,
So
because you
outside of
do
that,
you do know that if majority of us were raised by poor single mothers, you have
mhm,
access to the same grants and loans and different educational programs that black women have access to because we were
mhm,
born in poor households. So you
mhm.
can get a grant to go to college, you can get a grant to go to trade school. There's no excuse for black men not cultivating themselves and doing something with their lives.
Absolutely not. I think what happens with men is because you're saying, you're like, why there is no excuse. Why don't all men do this? And it's just like saying, why don't all men go to the gym? Why don't all men? Every man doesn't think at the same levels, at the same capacities. Every man doesn't have the same testosterone levels, same dick size, same ball size, same. Every man is not built the same, think the same, move the same, operate the same. Every man is, however, his own man, his own ego, his own drive, his own will, ambition, and all those things. So, not every man aspires to be a boss and all these different things. A lot of black people go through a lot of different things in life, and I think a lot of black people suffer with just getting to a level of where they can just mentally be just like kind of even and have a regular life. Like, I think black men want that more than anything, just to be, just to go to work, come home, take care of what I'm saying, their wife, their kids, or whatever the situation like that, and just have a regular day to day to day to day to day, rather than take on being bosses and all these different things. So I think men place a lot of different things around their mate in life. More than anything, it's about who's their mate. So that's
Exactly.
just an aspect. I'm not having no excuses. That's just an aspect of men.
Yeah, that I think a lot of black men unfortunately focus way too much on black women in an unhealthy manner, meaning that we're trying to impress the women that don't want us, or we have to convince them to want us, aka game, and that also causes a lot of anxiety, depression,
Hmm.
because we're not getting the type of women that we think that we want, not, not the ones that we actually need. We need more of the women who's going to be like Big Mama, who's going to be the ones that's going to be supportive and be nurturing, more nurturing
Oh
than just the
no,
ones
no,
trying
no.
to
See,
be
See,
they,
see,
I
dominant.
knew that was
see.
coming. That's like a mammy.
Yeah,
You
that's a
need a man,
mammy. We do
but you need.
not need any more mammies. That's the reason why these guys are running around here mad because Big Mama is dying out and they ain't got the couch or the basement to sleep on or live in anymore.
Well, the problem is the Big Mama was letting every dude, either the ones that was trying to be successful and the bums, we letting all of them lay on the couch. We need the one that's going to be more discerning of, look, this guy's got potential. We can let him, we can lead, nurture him to something better. Now these bum ass motherfuckers, yeah, get them the fuck out of here. But also we need other family members to be a shield towards these women who want to help these guys, who want to be the ones to help to nurture these guys with potential and keep these bums away from them.
do,
Even if
do you,
we gotta protect them from their own selves too. I
do
think.
you know how serious like having a mate is to a man? Like a lot of times, if men don't have their social situation straight, they can't even work their job.
I
Okay,
think
well that
I
that's
think
that's a
their
that's a
job can.
personal problem. That's terrible. If you can't work a job because you ain't got a mate, these are
Yeah,
things
that's
that women we don't have time for none of that nonsense.
Yeah,
We
but
got to
y'all
get out here
also
and
select those men. Y'all,
yeah.
like bums are not created or made. That's a mental breakdown.
but that's what I'm saying. That's what this whole show is about. We were doing the mammy thing, but now a lot of the big mama mentality has died out with big mama. Now gold digging mama done put the women up on game. Now you got more of these younger women and women in Generation X saying, "Hey, we want to get the bag. We want to level up. We're tired of this."
How is that working out? Who are you
Great,
leveling up to?
Well,
Who are you leveling up
great.
to?
Oh, hold on. Let me answer that question. It's working out great because
Oh, so
now
there's no
I finally,
problems.
right. Because
I
now
got
I
a
finally
problem with that.
see y'all. I know y'all gonna have a problem, but let me tell you, I finally see black women getting self-esteem. I'm finally seeing black women choosing themselves first. I'm finally seeing black women choosing better, like you all have been telling us. You should have chose better. Now we are, but sometimes
Mhm.
choosing better means that we can't choose some of you.
Okay,
Some
no
of you
problem.
are they?
are not going to get chosen.
I'm
No
like,
problem. So then,
but they
and
still
you're
complain.
saying that's working out great.
Yeah, that's working
But
out
they
great.
but they
Okay.
And
still complaining
here's the
now.
thing. Now you got the bum rebellion. These
Mm.
guys are trying to bogart because they feel entitled to black women's body and their resources. So there is a bum rebellion behind this. So I'm not saying it's not coming with any backlash,
Uh
but yeah,
huh.
it's working out great for black women as far as our self-esteem and self-worth and how we feel about ourselves. Yes, it's working
It,
out great.
is it really? If you
Yes,
still
it
got
really is.
streams and streams talking about black men, their failures and all that. If it's really working out like you say it is, why am I still seeing stream after stream talking about black men protectors? If you're saying that they're living up, they got their self esteem and they are doing so much better, shouldn't they be protecting themselves instead of begging
Well,
black
we've
men to
been we've
protect
been
them?
protecting ourselves. I mean, what are you talking about? We're getting our stuff together, and what you're seeing is black women telling black men to get your stuff together.
So
But you're
who's gonna
also
protect
asking for
y'all from these
protection.
bums and the bum rebellion? Who's gonna protect y'all from all these bums? And
But
Nobody's protecting us right now, so we gotta pretty much rely on ourselves or the mates that we get with because you
I
ain't
think,
been doing it. I mean, we can't miss nothing that we ain't never had.
but
right,
but
right,
you're
right.
still begging for protection. I'm
We're
still trying to.
not begging. No,
I'm still.
okay,
I'm still.
nobody is begging. Nobody's begging. What we're saying
I
is
mean, this.
we're getting our stuff together. You need to get your stuff together. So when you see them
That's right.
videos, that's what basically black women are doing. Black women are
But
saying, hey, we're getting our stuff together. What about you over here? When you gonna get your
That's
stuff together?
that's not what we're saying. No,
That is.
that's not.
You asked
That's
me.
not.
You asked
When you
me.
got
I'm on the panel. That's what we're saying.
well, that's what you saying, but I can guarantee you, I can see another panel talking about we need protection.
Okay, that's true.
All
But
right,
what about all
real
the
quick.
guys who got their
Let
stuff
me
together?
acknowledge. Let me acknowledge CommendableK, my co-host that abandoned me today. But he says the level of movement isn't working because it's a placebo, and most upward mobility. Wait, prostitution doesn't count. The bums are rebelling, so black women better be able to fend for themselves. Okay, I can barely see it because on my phone the letters are so small. But thank you so much, CK, for the $10 super chat.
But they y'all are leveled up. Y'all are making better choices in mates and everything.
Allegedly,
So things are working out fine. Like I think,
allegedly,
the new mates should be protecting, y'all from anything.
it's not working. I'm sorry. This
I
Hold on.
leveled
mean,
up.
we still talk about protection in men, so it's still got to come down to who your man is.
But my whole thing is, okay, black women have not been being protected. When have we ever been able to just rest in our femininity and rely on our men to protect us? Never. Okay, so we can't miss nothing that we never had. And there are
And
no black women begging men for protection. We're not begging you for anything. We're telling you to get your stuff together.
okay, so okay,
So you don't
so
need
we're saying
protection,
that I
but
haven't seen
you're
So,
leveled
signs
up
of.
to another man.
this is interesting. This is really interesting. So when you guys hear black women say, "You guys are not protecting us. You're not doing this. You're not doing that," you hear begging, and
Cry
we're
for help.
sitting up here. We're
It's a
sitting
cry
up
for
here
help.
saying, "No, no, it's not. What we're
Yes,
saying is get your stuff
because
together.
but
We've been telling you to get your stuff together. It's not begging."
but but
I
faith.
thought it was about skateboards up to the face and getting bit in the eye.
Well, I thought that was the
I
we
thought
have
too. I thought it was
signs
about
saying
protection.
protect black women. What the
Yeah,
ain't that a
I
cry
thought
for
it was
help?
about,
That's not.
I thought it was about protection.
I, I thought it was. I thought that was you're crying for help.
You know,
So you can in one breath say we're leveled up, we're doing great, but you still crying for help from the men. And the sad thing is you're crying for help from the
from the
guys
men that you
you
don't want,
right.
that you
You
leveled up
crying to help
from.
from them. You going to their panels, whining to them. I mean, so if you are leveled up like you're saying you are, why are you still going on? Why are you going to a Kevin Samuels trying to figure out how to level up if you saying that they already leveled up? That don't make
Okay,
sense.
no. I said that black women are leveling up. Okay, we're looking to better ourselves. Okay, I'm not saying that they have made it to the final destination. I'm saying that black women are looking to better themselves, and we're not begging you for anything. We're asking you that same way that we're trying to better ourselves, you need to be trying to better yourselves. That's
Okay,
what we are saying. Now, as
okay,
far as
but
the women that go to Kevin Samuels, I do not condone that. I think they look absolutely idiotic going over there. But hey, to each their own.
And what is
I
better
have a
in what's
question.
for a man? What is okay? Go ahead, sir.
Um, I was always told that you can tell what type of career you have by the types of tools that are involved in your job. So if your job is to level up, what are the tools that you need for this career path?
Well, basically, what we've already been doing, we've already been focusing on our education. So the next thing we need to do is we need to focus on our health and our beauty. And we also need to focus on being satisfied with who we are within ourselves first,
Mhm,
before anything, loving ourselves first. Once we get those things down packed, then we'll have everything that we need to level up to the next person, to a better
Okay.
man, because we will be better women. We have to be better
Well,
women for ourselves first.
I
agree.
still didn't really hear any tools though. I
Well,
mean,
those
like,
are tools.
like
Those are tools. Yeah.
those are spiritual tools, and no man is gonna
No.
take
I didn't just name spiritual
that is
tools.
just useful. I'm
I
just
named education. Hold on. Education is not a spiritual tool. That is a tangible. I named physical health. Physical health is not a spiritual tool. That is a tangible. Okay. And then I also named off bettering ourselves as far as how we look on the outside along with bettering our health. That is not a spiritual tool. And then now with the spiritual tool that you're talking about, the one thing that I said was loving ourselves. That was the only spiritual tool that I named out, but everything else was tangible.
To level
those
up
are
to guys
all
like Kevin Samuels, right?
What?
Not in
No,
personality, not in
no.
personality, not in personality.
You been watching my channel? But who is that?
I think knife fight. You gotta
Somebody
mute
need to
yourself.
mute up. Mute up. Okay, have you been watching my channel? Because I do not glorify Kevin Samuels at all over here.
Okay,
I
not his personality, but his type. Like, a well-dressed
no,
man,
not
well-spoken
even his
man,
type. No,
man of
not
means.
at all.
Oh,
Not even his type, because
oh.
Kevin Samuels is just all on the outside. He's an image consultant. He's all image.
Allegedly.
I don't want black women to level up to an image. I want black women to level up to a man who is actually about it, financially, spiritually, emotionally, all of that. See, Kevin Samuels, he's just an image. He sits up here, he throws out a number. This is what a high value man is, and then he goes and he names off a few other things like his peers and all this other stuff. You know what, women, we could care less about all of those things. We really can't.
So then why do so many women call up? All right, this is my point. Is Kevin Samuels' image is what women want to level up to. They want the suit and tie guy. They want the well-to-do guy. They want Kevin Samuels has a church background from Dallas from back in the days. Like, he's been all through the Bible Belt and knows church well. And those type of women and all these things. He's a pretty cultured dude. You know what I mean? So I think, not taking out his personality, that type of image that he has, and no wonder why many women call in, is what women want.
I can agree with you somewhat there. The image and the money is what a lot of superficial women want. And I put emphasis on the word superficial.
Well, yeah, I would think so. A woman that's taking care of her beauty, her health, and things like that, she is going to be superficial, and she's going to want that certain image guy to go along with her superficiality.
Well, then birds of a feather flock together. They deserve each other. They're both superficial.
That's a fact. That's the type of superficial material world that we live in. You know what I mean? We as a people haven't been judging from character.
Kevin Samuels has been divorced twice. So if women want to take advice from a man who's twice divorced and just recently leveled up himself, then they can have at it. But they're going to get the same results that he got, twice divorced.
Well, I think that's an epidemic.
If they don't look more at the substance of the man, because a lot of times, and this is something that Chrissy said on her channel, you can't just look at high value, because all money ain't good money. You have to also look at high quality. And as CK would say all the time on his channel, CommendableK, and high payout. Because some of these guys are high value, but they're low payout. Just because they got the money don't mean they're going to spend it on you.
What would make a man spend money on a woman? Doesn't he have to get the feeling from that woman that this is my mate, this is my woman, she gives me all the energy and everything I need to want to spend money on her and treat her like that? Like, it's still in a man's choice, and women want to level up to that image, but they still got to understand that man has to choose her back. So a lot of times that's just a sexual relationship anyway, and then she's kind of sent back down to the lower levels.
Right.
Exactly. And that is the reason why you have a lot of relationship coaches out here like Crystal and Karis, and they do coach the women to watch out for those type of guys. Those guys are low payout.
Yeah, but
I still
I
have
would.
a question.
Oh,
Really
go
didn't
ahead.
like. I'm still confused with it. I mean, because when you're talking about leveling up, I'm still trying to grasp like what type of leveling up are we talking about here? I mean, we're going for high quality men, blah blah. Yeah, I got that. But how are we getting there? By being attractive? I mean,
Well,
because
you
if
know
that's the
what?
case, that means that no matter how you spin it, you got a shelf life now.
True, very true.
Meaning that you got a time limit on when it is that you can attract these uh, level up ease, I guess you would say, these men that are high value, whatever. That diminishes your value greatly. That puts you on a scale that forces you onto a scale you don't belong on.
I just
That
think
means
it's a
that your
false.
vagina has a value and it's diminishing by the minute like a used car. Why are we doing this?
Because they talk.
Women have more of a prostitute mindset, or like
Well, no, they don't, especially black women. Why the hell are we thinking like this? I'm finally settled down. I got a parking spot and I can really put it in a coherent thought. And I'm still trying to figure out how on God's green earth do women come to this notion that they need to quote unquote level up when the game is fixed no matter how you play it. You're putting yourself on a scale you don't belong on. If you're leveling up and you're doing it to by you're gaining this by attracting the type of men that you want, what are you attracting them with? Your beauty or your actual finances? If you're a
Okay,
financial, like,
can
yes,
I
please,
answer the question?
by all
Because it's a
means.
good question. It's a very good question. Because I do see that a lot of level up coaches, they're preaching more that a woman lead with her beauty. And the only reason why they do that is because you men are visual. You guys, when you see a beautiful woman, you want to talk to her, you want to take her out, you want to wine her and dine her. So yeah, a woman would have to level up her beauty first.
So
But
you see the
that's
trick
not
bag that
saying.
I'm talking about.
Well, hold on. The trick bags you're talking about is you never know the age of the woman until she tells you. And there, as black women can age well. We can, for a very long time, look like we're in our late 20s, early 30s for a very long time. So if a woman wanted to tell you that she was 35, you guys would have no other choice than to believe her unless you saw her birth certificate or her ID.
Right, but then again, that's the game. If you do that and a high dollar man sees that as a deal breaker and finds out that you're 35 instead of 25, guess who's on the chopping block?
Wait, hold on a second. I got to get my co-host in here. Hold on a second. He's trying to get back in. Oh,
I'm just, putting those things out there. I'm just like, because I'm really concerned.
Yeah, well,
My aunt is a good example of this. She started dating a man after my grandfather passed. And when I say aunt, I don't mean my auntie like my mom's mom. I'm talking about my grandfather's sister.
great
Generational
aunt.
thing here. Great aunt, right? We call her Aunt Ann. I love my Aunt Ann. However, she started dating a white man. We already, kind of just didn't really pay too much attention to it. But this is the prime example that I have of what divesting is. She found herself a young white man. Cool. Financially, he's not really doing as good as she was.
Oh shucks.
all right,
She
y'all.
had a very
Sorry
nice
about
home.
that.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to let my co-host back in, and I put myself out.
All right. Should I go on with the story or should I just wait for a second?
Go on.
Okay. Again, my aunt, she started dating this white man and whatnot. I try not to think about it that way too much because he's not really a bad guy. However, he's a lot younger than she is, and I already saw that as an issue personally. And my thought was, oh, he's got the game sewed up. He's just gonna outlive my aunt and take her house after she's passed on. Smooth. Here's the game. Some time went past, and my aunt always was able to maintain her mortgage to a point where she didn't own any. She didn't have a mortgage anymore. She had a property tax that she was still paying because this is California, and the law is funny that way. She started dating this man, and in order to build him up, I don't see how you could squander your white privilege, but anyway, that's another argument. He ended up being able to maintain the property tax and things of that nature, but somewhere along the lines, they needed to take a loan out on the home. For what? I don't know. I think somehow it had to do with helping out some of his family. No big deal. Didn't really think of it too much. Long and behold, they couldn't maintain that loan or refinance. That refinance allowed for his family to jump in and save the day by purchasing the home. Now the home is no longer in my family. It is now in his family. The white dude.
He gamed her the whole time.
I said this shit from the beginning, but then nobody listened to me because I was too young. And I didn't know what the game was. I just thought that it was kind of funny how this dude is younger. Here's the thing. They moved out, moved into a home, stayed in it for a little while. They couldn't afford that home either. So now they had to move back into her own home where she is now renting. And you guys think this leveling up thing is good? Not from my point of view. I just don't really see it. I see it as another part of the game that they're putting on.
How is it bad? Because you have not really said anything that makes me think that it's bad either.
Well, that's what I was asking earlier before I started borging. I can go into it if you want, but I don't want to be rude and take up time. You got a lot of people on your panel.
Right, and I want to move it over to CK, but I want to say this real quick. The leveling up is good for Black women because Black women are, in fact, doing what you guys have been asking us to do. We're choosing better. But now that Black women are not choosing the bums anymore, or the Black men that are all talk and no show anymore, now all of a sudden it's a problem. It's not a good thing. You want to complain about it.
I'm not complaining because I don't participate in it. I'm just saying that me personally, but from my observation.
But you're saying it's not a good thing. You're saying it's not a good thing, though.
I don't see it as a good thing because I don't see it working out in the long run. Because what's stopping a man from choosing somebody else? I mean, you're going to keep on producing younger and younger targets.
But there's nothing stopping a man from choosing anyone else. But that shouldn't stop Black women from wanting better, just because everybody has the ability to choose someone else. Just because a woman gets with a man that has money doesn't mean that she can't monkey wrench over to the next man that she deems to be better than him. Everybody has the ability to choose somebody else.
How many branches is it going to take for you? Well, how many branches can you jump back and forth to until one of them branches ain't going to be there?
But there's always another branch. You guys act as if Black women are limited. Once Black women start expanding their options and expanding the reach of men that they can get, it's unlimited. There's not going to be any stopping, but it is limited when you're talking about dealing with just Black men. Yeah, it's limited.
Well, no,
Yeah, I
that's what I'm
think it's
saying. Like you're basing that off of a myth that black don't crack. Just because we can't
No.
afford to
I'm
crack,
not basing. No, I'm
just
not basing it off of that. I'm not. What I'm saying is, excuse me, and forgive me if I gave you that impression. What I'm
mm,
saying is that a lot of the level up coaches are teaching black women to level up their beauty. Okay, but that doesn't mean that every black woman is going to be not dead gorgeous or any of that. You do have to bring other things to the table besides your beauty. But because men see beauty first, they don't choose a woman based on her good heart. He has to first get to know her to even know that she has a good heart. So that is the reason why they tell women work on your beauty.
if I can interject for a minute. Um, I hear the beauty part, but uh, we do understand that a lot of these beautiful women get dumped anyway.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
they
Nothing
get
is guaranteed.
so I
I
would
mean,
think yes, beauty is important. I'm not going to deny that, but you got to have some other skills that go with that if you want to maintain and keep these high value men that you saying that y'all want. Even if you're going out divesting, you still gonna have to bring something better than just your beauty because
I
number
just
one,
said that.
well,
yeah,
yeah,
I know, but
she did say that.
yeah, I know, but for me, from my standpoint, when I hear all this talk about living up, I don't hear anybody uh talking about all these other attributes. I just hear just beauty, 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 game him to get the bag. But I don't hear how to maintain this bag that
Oh,
y'all so much
okay,
want.
okay.
Are you talking about seduction skills?
I'm talking
Hold
about
on a second. I'm gonna move over. I'm gonna move over to commendable K after I say this. But I want to point out when men stop approaching women based off their beauty, that is when women will stop focusing on their beauty. But go ahead, commendable K. I think you wanted to say something.
I can go ahead. I just got back.
Okay, all right. Well, never mind. I thought he wanted to say something, but go ahead.
I that's why I was asking what are the tools to maintain this career path of leveling up. I mean, I understand like the education and everything, but I mean, what education? What are you going to study that's going to attract these men? I mean,
Okay, well,
It, it, it,
the
they're not going to
what
track
makeup
anything.
tips
When
and
it
what?
when it when it
Oh, okay.
boils when it boils down to it, the women that are talking about leveling up, they're basically wanting to go to a man who has, let's say, 500,000 a year as far as income, as a stranger, and somehow get to the head of the line of the women that are already fucking around him. See, what it really is lying and prostitution has been peddling. Because the only way you can get the high value man that you want and to even be close to him as far as in proximity to have a chance at him is if you're already on his level. That's why all of this is a fallacy. It's a bunch of placebos being passed out that, we're going to level up by expanding our options. Well, you can't expand your options if you're not already having a seat at the table where that option is where you want to choose. So really what it is prostitution, because that's the only way that a man with money is going to entertain a stranger outside of the women that are already in his life. If it's a prostitute, a stripper, or some type of vice that he's into, like little teddy bears. So the whole thing is that it really boils down to, are women gonna continue to lie to themselves that they need to level up by their own hand, or are they going to continue to fall asleep at the wheel and believe this fantasy? Because one day you're going to wake up and you're going to be too old, too alone, and everything that you had in your life has been wasted because you've been living in a fantasy as opposed to being in reality.
Yeah, it sounds like a trying to say this without cussing. Sounds like a genitalia lottery ticket.
Sounds more exhausting to me. This whole thing is just that whole thing sounds very exhausting
I feel
because
not. Yeah, I agree with you. I think I feel kind of bad now. You women are actually you're putting yourself through this to try to. This is what it means to level up. Okay, well, I
yeah,
guess I'll let you have it. You do you.
yeah.
Okay. I think that you guys are purposely not understanding what I'm trying to say.
No, no,
Leveling up means
I'm
something.
really understanding it. I really am. I just I don't really understand
Hey,
it. That's
hey,
all.
Faith, can I kind of chime in?
Oh, hi, D. Darrell. I'm sorry, everybody. Welcome, D. Darrell, to the
Hey,
panel.
D. Real.
What's
What up,
up?
man?
Yes, you absolutely can, D. Darrell. Go ahead.
So basically, the way I look at as far as hypergamy, leveling up, and so forth, and I want to kind of start off as we talked about education and so forth. And I think that we have to. I think that when we look at this particular sect, we look at relationships in such a simplistic manner in which it's almost like a give and take thing. You provide this, I give this, and so forth. We never talk about other aspects of the relationship, such as communication, other areas of compatibility, and in that, education is important to a certain extent because with education comes a certain level of well-roundedness, a certain knowledge base, and so forth. And high level men who have a certain level of skills and so forth, they want to be able to relate and not feel like they have to dumb down their language when they're talking to someone. And I think that there are certain people within the lifestyle coaching, they don't look at those aspects of a person enjoying their time with a person because they have common interests. They listen to certain level types of music. They like certain types of activities. How they conduct themselves. If you're in a high level lifestyle, that means that your wife has to have some level of knowing how to interact within a high level culture because you're going to be around other women who are also at that level, and with education and other things that you bring into the table, that makes you a more attractive mate to someone who makes that kind of money and above. And so high level men are not just looking for women just on the mere fact of beauty, and beauty is just a glaring factor because those women also, many of those women graduated from liberal arts schools, and many of them even though they may not be using the degrees that they obtain within the education that they receive, they're bringing a certain level of intelligence and well-roundedness as a person to be able to socialize within that that type of culture or that society that they're within. So I don't hear a lot about as far as maintaining that, as far as the day-to-day interaction between the man and the woman, not just on a sexual level, not just on the optics level. I'm looking at it more from a bonding level, more as you growing and learning each other and being more comfortable with each other over time. And also to the fact that if you're looking at the aspects of them having children, I mean, a woman that is more educated is going to expose her children to certain words, terminology, certain things, and so forth that a woman with less education is unwilling to do so. And being that a woman is the first teacher of the home, that can definitely improve the child's level as far as their ability to articulate and be exposed to certain words and so forth that actually improves their level to pass standardized tests, because that's basically one of the main
Standardized
factors
test.
that contributes to a child passing those type of tests in an educational system, is that your level as far as your exposure to certain words and so forth. So I just wanted to kind of give my take on that. So
I
Okay, I'm
definitely
sorry
agree.
about that. I was floating past. It's a little bad area here. But I do agree with you, D. Darrell. But here's a little bit of the pushback for me. You guys are sitting up here talking about it's not the looks, it's not the looks, it's not the looks. When you go fishing, do you go fishing without bait? I just want anybody to answer
No,
that
no,
for me.
looks are important
Well,
at the beginning.
nobody's
I
saying
never
looks not important.
looks are very important, but it at the beginning. But as the relationship matures, there's other things that come along the way. So you're right. You have to have looks, and men are visual, and being that we're visual, that's in our nature to look at looks. I mean, that's an aspect that we can't ignore.
But what is a woman's education if she can't if she doesn't understand or is educated in knowing how to hold on to a man?
Well,
Okay, but that's two
Well,
different
hold
things.
on.
there's no book on
I
how
think
to
Faith
hold
was
on a
making
man. It
making a
depends on the
point though.
man.
I think she was trying to make a point. What type of bait do you use to go fishing? Depends on what type of fish you're fishing for, right?
Yeah,
Right.
that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
That was one of the primary reasons why I asked what type of tools. The metaphor could be switched to bait, but tools, bait, I'm still going down that same path. So yeah, I want to hear what you were getting ready to say after that, though.
Well, that's basically what I was getting at. One tool that a woman uses to attract men is her looks. Now, how she packages it together, depending on how she packages it, that's what's going to attract a certain type of man. Like Commendable K. He's a high value man. D. Darrell's high value. I know this for sure of both of them. I know these men personally. Okay, now they're not. I don't believe that Dee Darrell would take a woman seriously if she packaged herself as if she was a low value woman. Am I right? Commendable K.
Right.
Dee Darrell.
Yeah, you're right. You're correct.
But if this woman packaged herself as if she was high value, then that would be even more attractive to you on top of her beauty. Correct?
Yeah.
So this is what I'm talking about, and this is what a lot of level up coaches are teaching young women, not just about being beautiful, but how you package yourself together as a woman so that you stand out from everybody else. Because there are plenty of pretty women. You're absolutely right. But it's how a woman puts herself together as well that also allows her to stand out to the type of men, the type of fish that she's trying to catch. So you're absolutely right. Depends on the type of bait that she's using. But as far as her education and her ability to hold on to a man, that's two different things. They're not the same. You cannot compare those.
Here's my only pushback on that. And it's not pushback against the narrative because it's a good analogy. What I still see out here is not necessarily just the leveling up, but the fact that they're caught in this catch and release type fishing, or they're sleeping around a lot looking for the perfect one and can't find the perfect one because they don't know what the perfect one looks like.
Well, the perfect one doesn't exist. That doesn't exist.
And they're still
There's
getting
the
with
trap.
and they're still getting with the bum dudes on the side too. So that's that too.
I don't know about the bums though. I'm just worried about the catch and release part.
I'm gonna have to say, guys, I think you're looking at things from a stereotypical manner because I don't see women basically. I see women that make mistakes, but this whole narrative of women just using men as disposable is just is a fallacy. That's not necessarily indicative of most women. Now, does that exist? Yes, but as far as that being the majority of women, I have to definitely disagree with that.
It may not be majority, but it's enough. Because when it boils down to it, it was the same way I was talking about
enough?
that.
What is enough?
Well, enough is I mean, if you encounter someone that's like that, and it kind of goes along when I was saying that the best way that a woman can level up with what she deems a high value man is to already be on his level. that would be the bait.
But guys, most women are not necessarily looking for a high value man. Most women are just looking for a guy who has a full-time job, at least has a high school education, and they make a medium income. They're not
That
looking for that.
that she's
That's
Yeah,
highly
right.
attracted to.
But
Attraction
see,
is first.
no,
The
he's high value in her eyes because most women want status.
when we're
So
looking
he
at
would be
when
he's high value in her eyes. So even if he makes $50,000 a year, if that's high value to her, that's high value to her. Everyone has a different scale when it comes to high value because everybody's in different social classes when it comes to this conversation. Okay, go ahead.
Nobody sees this as, I guess you would call it a repackaged Victorian culture.
Yeah,
I
something
don't
like that.
I don't
Oh, what are two people gonna do when they get together?
Have sex
Regardless
usually.
of regardless of social class or anything, what are two people gonna do when they get together?
Bump
Depend on the
uglies.
two people.
So
Well,
so
it
so
depends
the
on the
idea,
two people.
right? So the idea is about the chemistry. It's about the match. It's about what we want to do in life together. We're being mates to accomplish something.
But you're
Yeah.
talking about people that surrender to their lower being, and women are leveling up to a higher being now. So they're not just doing what two people do when they get together anymore. Now the
Are they?
women are holding, they absolutely are. Now the women are looking at other things. They're looking at other things now, and this herein lies why the men are so angry and beating these women upside the head, because they're not just doing the lower thinking anymore and just choosing the Pookies and the Ray Rays out there. They're bypassing the Pookies and the Ray Rays, getting hit upside the head with skateboards and jumped
come
on
off.
and all types of stuff.
No,
Men been beating women upside
I'm
the head forever. That ain't nothing
yeah,
new.
I'm
yeah.
still
That's
trying
right,
to
but
figure
that
out
doesn't make it right.
how a person trying to
What's
level up
new is
is even around somebody with a skateboard in the first place.
Right.
what's going on is that women have more choices. See, in the past, let's say 1950, women get hit upside the head. They didn't have many choices as far as opportunity, like employment, where they could live, credit, etc. So the difference is now that as women are wanting more for themselves, whether they are single mothers or not, the bums are going up to women, like I'm gonna say a name, Zach, stay focused. They're going up to different women and they're like, "Hey, what's up, baby? What's up?" And she looks at him, looks at his car, looks at his hair and his shoes, and says, "No, no, thank you, sir." And he's like, "Oh, well, bitch, you think you better than me?" Hit her upside the head with a skateboard, takes
Come
her
on,
back,
Like,
man.
throws her in a dumpster,
That's
or a
extreme.
bunch of dudes are jumping off one girl. And see, even though it's not majority, it's enough because if you have one man jumping on one woman, specifically black woman, and doing this, one is one too many, which is why it's a concern for the community. Which is why I say that we got to draw a line in the sand and be against these bums and bummy behavior, as opposed to making excuses and having passive dialogue when addressing it. Okay, go ahead.
why y'all gotta do Zach that way? Zach's a good dude. Come on. Why you gotta
I
put him
like
at
I like Zach stay focused, but he has come on face panel and says these black women think they're better than me, and that's the only example I want. I can name more names, but I like him too. It's just that unfortunately he kind of has the clown talk, and it is what it is. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Zach does say ignorant stuff. He actually said it's
yeah.
okay to meet a woman in the first 10 minutes and actually is your hair real. So that goes to say what kind of social skills he has in regards to interacting with women. So
If
Yeah,
you
that,
want another,
yeah.
if you want another name, I name another name. Michael Israel. He's another one with the clown talk. I'm still waiting. Hey, I'm still waiting for him
Right.
to come on a
Yeah.
panel. I'm still waiting for him to come on a panel so we can go ahead and address everything he says. But Michael Israel is another one with the clown talk. Jack Stay Focused, Michael Israel, and other people are reasons why I'm going to, whenever I get stationary because I'm traveling, I'm going to do a daily clown talk and call out the clown talk. I just heard a rumor that, well, I guess it's a fact that even Taz,
damn, I was
he
just
has
thinking of
20,
Taz too.
exactly. So Dita Rail and I are on the same page when talking about these clowns. This man has 25 convictions for putting his hands on women. So if you're asked about someone with a record like that, You should be passive in saying that we don't want that behavior in our community. If you're passive, if you're talking about, well, maybe it was because the black women don't act right, you are just as bad as the cancer that has 25 convictions of putting their hands on a woman. Go ahead.
But here's the
That guy,
problem,
he has a girl though. A lot of
Yeah,
women want to be
that's what I'm saying.
controlled. A lot of women like a controlling man, alpha, take control type man.
Have you heard women tell you that?
Let's not do that.
Did you know women that actually told you that?
No, that's from what I see.
No, I'm not asking what you
One
see.
thing we don't want to do is justify domestic
Did they
violence.
actually communicate that to you? Because you can see one thing that could be a facade. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's the reality.
Well, actually, women do talk about wanting a masculine man, an alpha man, to take control.
Controlling a woman does not
And with an
necessarily mean
edge.
that's masculine. I mean, you are functioning in a relationship. It's not about control. It's about the level of functioning.
Was that Arab Black TV?
Or put it, yes. Yes, it was.
I hate to be, okay. We want to make a clear distinction between domestic violence and a woman wanting to be submissive to a man. If we blur the line, it becomes clown talk. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that women do say that they want this type of. I'm not condoning any type of domestic violence or anything like this. I'm saying women want a man. Women do say that they want men, right, that can put them in their place.
And with that
comes a certain tone. It comes a certain sternness. It comes a certain I don't know, whatever you want to call it, that they define as masculinity, alpha.
Well, then, if those women do tell you that, then being that you're alpha or a person, I guess you consider yourself a masculine man, I think it would be a good idea for you to correct that and define that in a way in which they're not being exploited and taken advantage of. Because saying put in my place, that is based on interpretation. That could mean a variety of different things. And in many ways, if they think that way, it's probably because they observed somebody else being treated that way when they were growing up and so forth. So that doesn't necessarily mean that that's a positive thing. And I think that's a misinterpretation of masculinity, is that you have to basically put your foot down or be stern with someone instead of working together and understanding your roles as far as being cooperative. That is no need to go to that level to get someone to function in that relationship.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that women. Let me clarify. I'm saying women have a lot of thoughts in their head and a lot of ideas and things. A lot of women are indecisive.
How do you know
that? I'm saying, looking at women and what they want and what they. I'm saying, well, I'm going to give you the answer. I'm going to give you the answer. And women saying all the things that they want and all the things they want to do, but not actually being able to accomplish the goal.
Again,
so women need men to manage them, to help set them straight, to help give them focus.
No, they don't. Women do not need men. Women do not need a man to help them maintain focus. They have a brain just like us, and they have intelligence just like us. Now, in our culture, if women want a man and they want to be in a relationship, there are certain roles and things that they expect from a man, and there are certain things that we expect from a woman. And in that, we use those things collectively to have a relationship, to have again, I'm using the term functional, okay? And it's not, women do not need a man to think for them. They don't need a man to make decisions for them.
I'm not saying, it's not making decisions for them, but help center their decisions. Help them to not spend so much money. Help them to kind of get work in unison with the man and order their life and get a life under order.
So you're telling me you're gonna marry a woman? You're gonna marry a woman that doesn't know how to manage money? You're gonna marry a woman that don't know how to make decisions?
Me personally?
Yeah, I'm just saying, because you're saying women don't have that ability unless they have a man to show them that.
I'm not saying that they don't have. I mean, come on. Obviously, I can't be saying that. Obviously, women have been doing that their whole time, but they haven't been happy. They haven't been getting to their ultimate goal and end game in life. And that's where men come in. We're talking about relationship.
But the things that you're
I'll
the
go ahead.
things you're saying, they don't need women, they don't need men to do the things you're talking about.
Yeah, obviously not. They've been doing it, but they haven't been happy in it.
How do you know they're not happy?
Uh, are they not complaining every which way? And
No,
are we just not hearing women?
they're not they're complaining because they don't have enough adequate men in our community. That's what they're complaining about.
For what?
It's a,
Relationship, right? At which
What?
two people have to work together.
Yeah,
Relationship, right? Adequate men to
but that
accomplish what?
but
Adequacy and to accomplish what?
to build a family and to have a life together.
And that takes a man's dedication, right?
It takes both dedication. It takes both people.
Okay, so we're talking about relationship and we're talking about order and we're talking about a man being the head of a household, right? And him having his woman as a helpmeet and how that works together, how that looks, how that operates.
Okay.
Right. So a man's key, his word, his direction is not key in that whole equation.
Yes, but that's
The brother Sticky, you want to say anything? The brother Sticky, I don't mean to be rude to y'all, but there's other people on the panel who kind of want to talk. I know y'all want to have a back and forth.
Absolutely. No.
So,
We just
they
talking.
can keep going. They can keep going. I'm listening. I'm trying to gather my thoughts, but
Faith, you got anything you want to say?
No, I was listening to the dialogue back and forth. It was a good conversation.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I want to jump in.
With leadership comes discernment. With leadership comes respect.
I agree.
And
this is what men provide. I mean, in order for a man to be a leader, he needs a follower.
I disagree with that.
I mean, but my thing is that the things you're talking about should be vetted before you even get to that point.
I agree.
So those things need to be, worked out before you actually commit.
I totally agree. Now we're talking about communication. And we're talking about two people accomplishing a goal together. I think in this superficial material world, we're just trying to get the look of things, but the crux of it and who we are spiritually, personally, and what goals we're trying to accomplish, we're not doing that together. So a lot of things starts with women actually believing in men and actually seeing vetting men and going over and communicating with men to even find out if he's that type of man and can be that for her. But you can't do that and talking about that or I don't see any men. There ain't nobody out here available.
Well, I said a lack of.
How do you know that? I mean, everybody is everybody. What we're lacking is conversations.
Because when you look at our community, we have the lowest percentage of black males who graduate out of high school. We have the lowest percentage of black males that graduate out of college. And we have a high rate of black men committing crimes and doing things that don't make for effective men in our community. That's why our urban communities and urban centers look the way that they look.
I agree, but these men are still being selected, right? They're still being thought of to have sex, right, and have relationships, and these women are still believing in the men that they choose for that, right?
Okay, those choices are made because that's the hand that's dealt, but that doesn't